Theology asks, what's the first X you usually use for Momir? I was saying that I make a 2 on the draw. Hat, do you make a 2 on the play? I haven't been making a 2 on the play, but I would make a 2 on the play if I had a 3-mana walker that I wanted to protect.
So I actually, are you talking about the new format they've put in for?
Yeah, we're talking about this.
Yeah.
You want to do one of these? We can let's do one by example. And Jay, why don't you, I'll play one of these, and Jay, you can talk about what you've been doing this week and maybe what we want to do on the constructed front today.
That would be great. By the way, I have a slightly different answer for you on the what X I play first.
Yeah.
I play X equals 2 when I'm on the play, assuming I have cards I want to dump. I prefer the more aggressive approach where possible.
In this case, Nissa with 3 forests is pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, this
Oh yeah, I'll change the view. Thank you. This is not a great look. Come on, you guys just want to look at me, right? No, all right. Domri is funny because he's good if you're doing the fight stuff, but bad otherwise. Although he actually adds mana, so that's actually Domri's fine. I take it back. In fact, we will play out a mountain in anticipation of that. And with Oppo leading on a creature, makes me want to make one here because we do have a 3 to protect. We'll see what we get. My hopes aren't super high. And we're far off from Nickel, so we're going to get rid of him. We could actually turn Jace's Sentinel into a 2/3 unblockable at some point. So what have you been working on this week, Jay? You got a homework assignment of Parhelion 2.
Absolutely. So I have a Parhelion 2 deck, which is really kind of awesome. I'm excited about it. Look, Parhelion 2 is one of the hardest cards to design for. It is in no way, optimal, except for this incredibly rare circumstance. And the circumstance you have to get to make that card work is you need a finisher, you have a 4/4, and you have control of the board. So I built a deck that achieves that goal.
High degree of difficulty.
High degree. But it's actually not as terrible as I thought. I mean, it's not a deck you ever want to grind or play in tournaments, but it does get the Parhelion 2 out, and so far I've never been able to attack with it, because every time I get out, my opponent scoops.
Yeah, it's just kind of a scoop machine.
Yeah.
I didn't want to play, just to answer a chat question, I didn't want to play Domri and use up an entire card on a 1-mana spell. I'd rather try and set up additional board defense and get Nissa out and kind of try and take over with that, although that's a heck of a draw. Sometimes you just need a chump, Callius. Like the why not attack their walker? Because I had a 1/3 and they had a 3/2, I think. Didn't they? Yeah, that was why. But also, to quickly answer Vaporkin's question, no, we're not going to be drafting anymore today. We're going to do one run through here, and then we're going to talk with more constructed with Jay. And also, for context, chat voted on what card to have Jay build around, and it was Parhelion 2. What the result of that's going to be if we keep doing that week to week is going to variable. If Jay will come back and say, it's not a very good deck, but this is the best I could do, or hey, we found something that broke standard on accident. Whatever the range is, he's going to do the best he can and see what happens. But here, now we can go. I'm going to go like this.
You want our style? You got it.
gonna have these fight.
Oh, there'll be nothing but dust when I'm done.
And now at least Jace's Sentinel threatens to trade when it blocks, and we can get Domri on the plus for serious mana, especially if we get Nissa down. Pretty nice 6 just to get big beef. You can't. It's not super exciting, but you can get pretty let down on 6s. Now, do we want to go Nissa or a 6? Yeah, exactly. Nissa just leaps us into the lead. We just need her to make sure that she's protected. And yeah, I think this is a place where we do Nissa X of 2. Actually, it can be X of 3.
Strange and magnificent world. Rise, my elemental friend.
We won't answer to other things.
Didn't kill anything, but we got some more board presence here. Oh, I should have done 4, yeah. Oh well.
My skills are as sharp as my sword. See you farewell.
These are best.
Time to scoop. I'm all about early scooping here, but we're gonna at least give ourselves one chance to Nissa Domri out something really good. Yeah, so give me a number. I don't know. I don't know what target we want. First, let's figure out. I mean, if we draw a forest, that changes things too. All right, so that doesn't actually change anything. Yeah, we can get the Wanderer. We're gonna do that after. No, actually, we can go for it first. All right, let's try it this way this time. Not that it matters in this way. We'll start there this time, and then you know.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
If we just want 8, we could just leave this up. What do we want? What's it, 10? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can get a 10. Yeah, isn't 10 just like an auto awesome? No, we have this to... We can't be blocked by white creatures. We kill the Wanderer. Wanderer's not a problem. See ya, Huatley.
I'm done here.
Seems all right. All right, well, funny that Bells and Lock is not an auto loss in this one. Oh, is it? Maybe it is. Are they? No, there's 3s, right? It's just really good. From auto loss to super bomb. Although they maybe take more damage than they can handle. That was hilarious. We're still going to have Domri fight that dude coming up. That was funny. All right, let's fight Bells and Lock. We need. Well, maybe we should see what we draw for. See what we get out of this first. Or we can just make another one, can't we?
Behold, nature's true power.
6, 7, 8. Yeah, we can go. Oops. Ah! That was a mistake. I accidentally clicked the pass turn button, so it sped through. I don't care about those mistakes. That was just a UI dexterity mistake, not anything I can really improve upon in my life.
When you understand reality, you understand bathed
to the
in
land.
ghost fire.
See if we can still win despite that little stumble. If Bells and Lock doesn't go at Domri, then we get to kill it, and if it does, we get this huge attack going back the other direction. So even if they take out Domri, it's not the worst here. I think we just start to pile on. But wow, to attack and not take out Domri seems completely wrong to me. Because now we just get it both ways, right? Alright, here we are, properly taking our turn.
Are there many?
Oh, could I have just done that and killed him? I'm not even thinking ahead. I'm just all about board control as usual. Let's see. Probably Miss Lethal being all about board control. But they're pretty far gone. Both of the 17s are must blocks here. Why do we care about Ugin? I'm gonna say Oppo can have a 2/2. Sure, or you can start, Banana Jack asks if he can suggest homework for Jay already. You can suggest it to chat, and then we'll vote on it later. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
My apologies for being quiet. The update to Goldfish, I didn't realize it merged sideboard in accidentally from the export.
You're off doing work, is what you're saying.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I also forgot to get done here is get the, what is it? Stream Decker? Something to be able to show you deck lists of the constructed stuff we're working on. I promise I'll have that for next week. Uh-oh, I just said promise. Ugh. It's the worst.
Fabric of the multiverse obeys me.
Banana Jack wants new Karn, basically, is the kind of build-around card you're asking about.
War is coming. I will not.
Interesting, he's going to see a lot of that in the Parhelion deck, how some of the uses for it.
Yeah?
The deck actually gets the Parhelion 2 out through the using cards like Dukarn and the Artifact Colors engine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try this.
Well, Oppo did a bunch to try and stabilize, but I think we still have it here. They've got 3 blockers. We've got 5 lethal attackers. Heck, we can do it this way. Ooh. Now let's not be. Let's just get on it. Yeah, Rob is asking about this format. It's like Momir, except they put a bunch of planeswalkers in for you to choose to cast or pitch. There's a lot of things we could have done, Rumbutt, but we had the guaranteed win on the table, so I figured I would attack and claim it. So there you go. That was Momir. But I've got to go see about Jay's deck updates. So we're going to start with the Parhelion deck, I assume.
That seems like a fine place to start. And I just finished the decks in here.
All right, I see Parhelion 2. I'm going to share this with the class. I'm about to import this deck right here. It's funny. I also work with a lot of Australians at Wizards who, the way they say deck makes a lot of people giggle sometimes. And no, Vaporkin, we're done drafting. So if you're not in on constructed, you might be done. But hang out with us. Hang out with us and root for us to lose with this sweet Parhelion 2 deck.
Lose? This could be fun. Winning with this is kind of awesome.
We're totally going to win, but Vaporkin has a history of betting against me in an appreciated way. No big deal.
So would you mind bringing the deck up for a moment to show it?
Yeah. First, let me get a download, export to Arena. Grab this. Decks. Add a deck.
So it looks like the sideboard import-export's acting a little bit funny, going to and from Goldfish.
We'll take a look.
No, it may have gotten it. Good.
Looks like it got it. Sideboard.
All right. Perfect. All right. So just a couple of quick notes on the deck. First thing to notice is the Gin of Wishes. The Gin of Wishes really, really powers this. If you'll notice, this deck is full of giant spells that want to be wished out. And the Gin is, interestingly, in a deck that tries to get big mana, incredibly powerful. It's powerful enough, I'm wondering if this card is a sleeper and constructed for things like Super Friends or similar decks. Any deck that does generate 9+ mana at a point, you put the Gin out and you can throw out just some crazy things and have a body as a threat as sort of a bonus. Now, this deck has a huge weakness to being underrun. It has, if the deck's a little bit slow, like White Weenie slow, it can handle it, but it can't handle a full-speed red deck on a decent draw. The defense is based off of the 3-drop Planeswalkers, Teferi and Teo. You're trying to buy time. As soon as you get to the 4-drop, you're starting to build your offense. There's double Karn in this. Karn is giving you card advantage. Karn is also a way to get neat tools. So if you can look at the sideboard for a second, the sideboard with the new Karn, you'll notice it has options at basically every level. And that's important to help build. Mox Amber is kind of amazing when you often have 3-drops. There's a bunch of utility at the bottom end. And at the higher end, you get things like Meteor Golem, and of course our kill card, Parhelion. We have one in the deck as well, but one of the ways we'll often do it is we need a kill. We've got Karn out, grab the Parhelion, drop it, and don't forget you can then animate one of your other artifacts to equip the Parhelion. So far, most of the time I'm winning, I'm beating down with, or threatening to beat down with a Gilded Lotus animated to equip a Parhelion.
Interesting. Animated Lotus. Interesting. I want to, as an aside, I don't have the wild cards. This is the paid account. I've always been authorized to do this, but I never have had the need because we never really play much constructed around here. But we are actually at a point where if we want to continue, we actually need to make some purchases so we can get enough wild cards to complete this deck. I'm willing to do that.
I can't actually show this deck without Parhelions.
Right. I mean, and specifically, I am going to take the philosophy that on this account we are willing to spend money, and I'm not even sure what the. Let's see. What are our needs? We need. I wish it would tell us how short we were. So I knew what we were aiming for in terms of pack. But we have 6 of each. And we have 4. Yeah, and somebody, I want to call that out. Who was it that said, yeah, Skeptical Hat says, Arena isn't super brewer friendly. It's true. It's the weakest aspect of the game. Jank costs the same as gold, so you can't, cost the same as anything, so you can't budget brew in the traditional sense. It's very, very true. And it's unfortunate, and it's a problem that R&D pressed very hard on the Arena team to try and solve, because we were doing some economic models and approaches to collections and how the whole system was going to work based on, looking at how Hearthstone and other games of this ilk were working. And it's a tough problem to solve without getting pretty complex in your solutions. I mean, there are solutions you can have a marketplace, you can have the cost of crafting a card be variable based on the way that the community is reacting and kind of give it a fake marketplace feel, but that really cranks up the inelegance. It's not an elegant solution, and there's a lot of design work there. And so it's just a really clunky type of place to even try to work out the design solutions. There are them though, and one of those solutions that I hope they take the tack on more is to offer like free experiences where the prize are bulk rares. Like they could have weekend tournaments, like this whole, they're giving us these frames and whatnot, but it would be interesting if there were ways to basically on the cheap win some of the cards you need to do the brewing. But it's a great point that Parhelion is just as valuable in this system as any other rare.
Question: did you all consider renting cards?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, considered in the. Oh yes, there's another solution that maybe could. I don't think we ever really discussed it heavily, but I think it would have been resoundingly rejected along with everything else for being too complicated and too costly to implement in time. And this was just like, at the very least, the thing that could get the product out the door in a reasonable time frame. But let's see if we go. Save and exit. Oh, really? That. Okay. I don't know how many of these we need. Oh, I saw packs and just figured that's where we go. Of course not. I have to buy things from the store. How does this work? Packs. And I guess we want to... If we're just trying to fill out a deck, should we buy packs from the set we have filled so that we're just getting gems back?
It depends whether you're trying to complete a collection or not.
No, we don't care about completing a collection per se. We care about, but I suppose for future purposes, it would be worth it. And also, we do have a lot of. We have a complete Guilds of Ravnica. So if we bought here, we would at least be starting to work on something else that is not going to rotate. And yeah, let's do Ravnica Allegiance. Because we want to complete it, or War of the Spark, one of the two. What does it have the most in? War? Does it have a lot of rares and mythics from War?
It was pretty spectrum. I mean, God, that deck's got things from everything. I'm just sort of looking at the list, and
right.
There's M19, There's a moderate set of planeswalkers. If you don't have a full set of the planeswalkers, you're probably gonna need those for the rest of the time. So I guess the largest thing is the planeswalker team.
Okay, well, let's and that's war, right? So
That's all war.
So I'm gonna start here. I don't even know if this is correct, but since this is the paid
guild-
account, it doesn't even really matter. We get to do what we want.
You're a fool if you think you can outmaneuver me.
That was a good pull.
Yeah. Not a lot of wild cards there, unfortunately. See some. There we go. That looks good. But yeah, this is the first time, literally, in my history of Arena, that I have bought and opened packs in the store. Weird feeling. All right, almost there. Yeah, we'll be close. If we don't have it, we'll see how far off we are, and maybe we can make some changes that Jay thinks are okay, and then go with that. But let's go back to.
And that's a worthwhile thing to do anyway, to find how to handle things we don't have the right items for.
All right, we got there, so we can finish the deck.
Perfect.
Right on, Motor City Mama. Doing the right thing and buying the $99 gem package and just make them last. The trick with, to take a quick aside on the financial side there, I always suggest people go for the biggest biggest bundle because it's got the best value on gems. But the real trick is then, do you have the discipline to not just burn through those gems? Like, set what your budget is. If you have $100 ever to spend on Arena, how long is that supposed to last you? A month? A year? Forever? Like, how long it's supposed to last you is going to dictate how aggressive you can get with your limited play or your constructed play or whatever. Just make sure you have an idea of what you're aiming for in terms of a budget. All right, let's go test this thing out. Let's go right into ranked. We'll give it a try in ranked.
That seems a good place for it. And let's hope for not to get a speed red deck.
Right. It seems like it's maybe a tough matchup against mono white and mono red, maybe even mono blue.
Mono white isn't that bad.
Huh? Why is that? They just
you've got enough wrath effects, and you get things out. You don't ideally want to draw your Parhelion 2 in the first hand, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it seems like a keeper with the. Given that our weakness is those low to the ground decks, and Teo should help with that. Let's see.
There we go.
Let's go fountain tapped. That could be rough.
He's going to initially think you're super friends.
Yeah. And we kind of are.
It's
just the B squad super friends.
The Legion of Substitute Heroes.
Yeah. Ow. All right, we'll just do that and send it back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should have just done it with a beacon, though, because then we get life, right? Yeah. Oh, well.
Right now, you're just buying time, though.
I am not going to sit this one out.
Baby Teferi. Man, it's good. Arrester's admonition that sticks around and is annoying for a long time? Yikes. Do we just try and wreck him here? Or is that too obvious?
Don't forget to... Oh, yeah.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Well, they got blue up. This might not work. Oh, we got a raid coming in. Who goes here? Oh, got a. I don't know who that is. I don't think it's the main Magic stream, but that's happened a couple of times where we've gotten posted for one. Maybe it is. I don't know.
So the nice thing is we have a Gilded Lotus. Gilded Lotus really is the power that, the power for this deck from, the mana engine.
Mm-hmm.
So top deck a land if you don't mind.
I will try. Oh yeah, I should have waited for the damage step because they would, they might have invested mana there, so that was a little mistake. All right.
This is also good. Now you can get a Mox with this. It won't generate mana immediately, but it will generate a bonus mana when you play the Toya.
Okay.
Afterwards.
Our actions determine the course of history. You will not in this world.
So you want to get the Mox?
By the way, you can get the Mox, or you can get the Sorcerer's Spyglass if you want to turn off their Teferi.
What do you think?
I'd probably go for the Mox. You're trying to win your way, but either one works.
Okay. And as Jay was saying, we can't tap this for mana yet because we don't have any planeswalkers or creatures that are legendary right now, and have color.
Yes, we need a colored. It's not the combo we really, you've always wanted. I kind of wish they had printed it with, color or colorless or whatever the templating is.
Let's balance comes.
Trust me. You'll thank me later.
Do we have anything that sweeps planeswalkers?
Don't worry.
We don't. We don't
Think-
have
is there
an
anything-
Elder.
Yeah, Elders, that's the only one that does it, right? I was trying to figure out if there was a cleansing Nova that touched walkers yet or something that I
We
hadn't
have
been thinking of.
Visions that do it, but hope,
Well, now it seems. Why is it? Oh, because it's letting us do it, but not. It doesn't actually produce anything. I see. So you can tap it for no value. Unfortunately, we can't therefore cast the Lotus. So we're probably going -2 again, and then
-2
Teo?
again.
and then we can do. And we actually can do the Spyglass.
Sure.
Stand.
You're gonna have to probably. Well, I'd probably put it. Yeah, either one.
What?
Yeah, drop him out.
Yeah, and then we can cast that, right?
Diamonds are shield mage's best friend. Talk to the wall.
Is Vivian
Turn off Vivian.
more important than Teferi?
They're equal. Either one's gonna blow up your Spyglass. So
Right.
I would go for Vivian since he has one in the hand and they're more redundant.
Yeah, basic. What was that? Why did she say basic?
Keep up the pace.
I think you're probably right about putting an Immortal Suns in the sideboard. It just turns off half of your engine too, is why I hadn't had it.
Right, good point. But if their Planeswalker engine is super awesome, better to shut it down.
Probably. It's certainly worth having spending one card of the sideboard on. Again, as it was, this deck is going to struggle to be truly tournament worthy. It's trying to set up a very narrow win condition.
Yeah, it's almost like I talk about how Magic decks can, especially control decks or inevitability decks, are like a magic trick that has the prestige phase, which is the big finish. The ta-da moment of a magic trick is the prestige, and the prestige of a control deck can be almost anything you want it to be. So when someone throws a challenge of, make a Parhelion 2 deck at someone like Jay, they're going to make a control deck and just have the Parhelion be the prestige.
Although it is nice to spend some time doing the setup using the artifact chain, and now that we can get Gilded Lotus out, which is neat. Sadly, we still haven't drawn one extra land, so we can't Gilded Lotus and put out Baby Teferi. Yeah. Although we can put the Skyglass back out with it.
Yeah, we could also Nova if we just want to get rid of these.
Which is a perfectly good plan, too.
And then maybe we find what we need next time. Let's do this.
Put me out front.
Up to, just making sure it's at up to, because we're going to submit 0.
Some solutions must be built.
I'm terrible for putting out that stupid wall. It doesn't really matter. The walls don't really matter here, but why did I make a wall to only destroy it? Well.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
Have you now? I just want to see another land.
Hold that thought.
But yeah, if we don't get a land, we can go Lotus and just play this Spyglass again, right?
More like it.
Yeah.
My brain's already starting to hurt here. Glad I got Jay telling me what to do.
Of course, the land would just... Actually, at this point in time, you probably want another cleanse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
So, what can we actually do about this, though? We can wait and settle and throw down a Spyglass.
Or we can just... Why not just throw out a Gilded Lotus?
Gilded Lotus and settle?
Yeah, Gilded Lotus and settle. No one expects that. Don't forget to use your Planeswalkers.
Right.
And you are actually threatening
good
to
point.
animate on a
we can't settle because we have to target the player, and Shalai is preventing that.
Then you have to Teferi and bounce.
How are we? Oh, because yeah, we got to do that. Okay, let's start there. Oh yeah, instant speed, right? Is there other... Goodness. So many things to think about.
This isn't a fight you can win.
So we've got multiple things that need to happen before we can settle. Which is making it look like this is a little less hard, a little harder to win here. But we do have bounce to set that back. We can... we have Ugin to take out Teferi, but we are up against a lot of individual things that stop the wreckage, so we may just be needing to find more other sweepers in the deck somewhere.
The nice thing is we've gotten to our mana point, so...
I've got time.
Nothing stands before nature.
What did Vivian's ultimate do? Emblem. It's pretty good. See if we can beat it. Okay, they did not.
I don't think so. I think it's gone now.
If they don't replay... Oh. I don't think we get this one. But
No, I think it's
if we
two.
if we untap and get a
Wild
sweeper,
are
do we
my
have a
shield.
chance?
No, he's got the emblem out.
No, but I mean it's indestructible.
Right.
I don't know
Indestructible
standard cards. All right, so we're done with this one. We'll let him have it.
Yeah.
We're gonna let you go, Warrock. We're gonna let you go. Yeah, so much to process. Maybe this is actually why I don't play as much constructed. Maybe it is just harder. Because with limited, I just play a simple game of mid-range combat trick, creature combat. But that's some complicated stuff going on there.
Understand, this is less than a 50% deck. So
Oh, yeah, we're
you're
not-
expected to... I'm hoping you win 1 out of 3.
This is, well, in this one, I mean, we'd even, here's the problem. We could take Parhelions into play to maybe have an, quote, easier matchup, but the deck uses enough powerful cards that we're going to get matched up against powerful cards no matter where we go. So let's give this another try. Do you have other decks that you were working on this week?
We have 2 other decks to look at this week. I continue to tweak the red recursion deck, and I also have an updated Adapt and Evolve. It's not quite finished, but it's showing so much promise. I really want to play, show off the green, black, white version.
Okay. Well, we've got a Teferi to hold us on 2 here, or hold our early game. I mean, we don't even have 2s in the deck.
Yeah, we started 3.
Okay, problem time. But that's that could be useful. I don't think we need to play it yet, but this is the kind of thing that can get you out of a mess with mono red if they dump a bunch of 1-mana dudes on the board. This is probably light up the stage, though. Where'd it go? There it is.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
That's not great. We're going to have to send that back to buy time. But we'll play the Blast Zone in case that we need to fire that off soon.
Sorry I'm late. I've got it.
We'll send that back, and then hopefully we get a nice settle in that stabilizes us. Maybe? Maybe? I think Teferi is about to bite it here.
Now what?
Just waiting to see if we can settle him, huh?
You have a lot to think. That's actually an interesting decision whether or not you Karn.
Oh, Karn
first.
there.
But
I just felt like we Karn and then he's just dead. And what did we get? I guess we get... Oh, we could go get something that was really important.
well, you push him up, and he's probably dead. But he also bought you an extra turn,
Right.
and it made it look like it makes the bluff a little less obvious. But he ran into it anyway, so that's good.
Jin or Karn?
I would go Jin. Force him to show that he can kill it. If not,
Yeah,
you can
4
play
toughness is a
Cinder.
lot for the old red deck. They usually need to use 2 spells on that.
I mean, you probably have to block if he charges with the Steamkin, just because the Steamkin's so good.
Right. But then we have Ugin afterwards if they use a lot of resources to get rid of the Jin here. Now we just have to hope they can't combo off with Steamkin here. If they have more light up the stage... Okay, it looks like... Well, still could happen. They connect, and then take the counters off and light up the stage the way to super nonsense. Like, we could just literally lose right here. It's possible.
I'm hoping they're doing something dumb like that. Somewhat dumb.
Right. Not insta-lethal, but we, again, could be pretty close. All right.
That's not going to be
not
enough
going to do it,
get
because...
us out. Well, actually, yeah, it's not enough to get us out.
Well, we can survive if they have a land and draw a land, right? Let's play like this is a Pro Tour.
How do we how do we survive?
Because we... Oh, no, we can't do... I always forget that you can't both add and sack on Blast Zone. My thought was that we could move Blast Zone up to 2 and get rid of the Pyromancers, but we can't do both of those on the turn here. So, unless there's something to get with Karn, we're done with this one. I guess we'll take a look. I don't think there's a Miracle Cure in here.
Nothing that's going to save you here.
Oh, this is the wrong Karn anyway. I was thinking of the other Karn. So, yeah, we can't. It's not even worth it. Can't do it. Well, we knew Mono Red was a bad matchup. I'm going to give it one more shot. I'm going to see if we can get someone to scoop to our Parhelion. The other thing we can do, Jay, that would maybe mean that you would have to not talk at me. Like, there is a challenge mode, right? We could challenge either viewers or each other. We don't have to take it to the queue, especially if we have a deck. Like, if you wanted to ever run 2 fun decks against each other, we could do something like that. And if there's viewers out there who have big collections and want to take one of Jay's decks and run it against me, we could do that as well. So let's try this one more time. Jay was hoping for 1 out of 3, so let's see if we can pick up that 1 out of right here.
I mean, there were decks
Yeah,
that
we'll
were,
change
of
the
course,
title.
stronger with the Parhelion in testing. The problem was Parhelion wasn't actually relevant in those decks. Like the Turbo Elf deck. It would just win because you had 10 elves, and why are you bothering to cast the Parhelion? That looks good.
Oh, no, I'm my dashboard. Change my title. Sorry, Oppo, give me 1 second. Sorry, stream. All right. Updated my title so people know what we're actually doing in here now. Thanks, Mama. It doesn't matter to cast that, play that yet. I need neurotic people making sure my layout is where it ought to be. Well, gives us a little time.
Right on schedule. I'll protect you.
Obviously, missing land, though. We want an untapped land off the top to
You get
draw.
2 draws at it, so...
Yeah, we get... which Karn... Well, I suppose it might depend on what they're doing, but... What's your sequencing between Karns?
I would always put out the... Well, it depends on the circumstance.
Sure.
Actually, here it's going to be whichever one he leaves you with.
Right.
So here, I would put in the one that lets me fetch a Mox first.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Fair.
I've already got Baby Teferi, so I can get mana. Although, if Baby Teferi wasn't out, I would get the other Karn, because I found people always give you a land when you activate the initial,
Sure,
the
that's a great
+1
point.
ability. Now, of course, he knows your hand, so he knows you're hurting for the land. But, well, anyway.
We got there. Let's go plus, though, here.
Here we go.
I will defend my allies. How convenient. An excellent choice.
Kind of like both of those.
Mm-hmm.
Give us one, we'll take the other next time.
Always the land.
What do y'all think of the new mocks from Modern Horizons? Have you seen that, Jay? It's
So I saw it just for a second. It looked interesting.
It's tap for anything mocks, but it has suspend 3.
I like suspend. I mean, I enjoy it as a mechanic. So,
But is that a good mocks?
I think it's actually a very. Before you play that, you might want to activate your. Well, this is kind of a weird circumstance. We need to figure out what we're going to do here.
Yeah, good point. Because we could bounce that Karn. This
we
is
can
going to
bounce it. We can threaten it. I think we bounce it because we just want tempo here.
Yeah, let's start with Teferi on Karn. Oh, it's not. It can't baby Teferi. It's not that good, apparently.
No. Okay.
So we don't actually have. We can
I would get
Teferi
rid of
it
it with big Teferi.
Yeah, big Teferi then. All right.
I won't hide from the world any longer.
So you probably want to put a dork out.
Yeah, do this thing.
Mm-hmm. Not because you really care about the creature and not that he won't be able just to remove it. It's just so that if he does put out a
Might be a
planeswalker,
bad
you can
idea.
immediately hit it.
Nightmares are the palette for my grief. You'll find
Do not fear.
Can we do anything with exile forced on us by others?
No, we can't.
No. Okay.
Just ones with the token on them.
And do we care about that? I guess if it's what they're doing, maybe we do. But
Yeah, my guess is it's their deck, although the primary... There's a... I was looking over the winning standard decks the other day, and
You know what?
the current
I'm not done.
blue, black, white deck, control-ish thing, uses a couple of them in the deck.
let's just do this and
I would
take care of it
actually
this way.
just kill it that way, yeah. It doesn't really hurt us that much, other than randomness.
Allow me.
I didn't really talk it through or anything, but I just decided to go aggressive with that Karn and
That's okay, force him to spend resources on killing
I've
your
got
guys.
yeah. Let's,
If he's
especially if
got
this comes down and we might be a little choked, might as well start getting aggro.
Well, it's nice to draw the his sweeper so that you can put the 2/2 guys out with Ugin.
Thank you for that sub, by the way. Oh, we also got incorrect stuff at the bottom, but how do we draw with Baby Teferi? Without... I'm just saying, somebody, Great God Om is asking, shouldn't we draw cards with Baby Teferi? And I just feel like we haven't had the target for it until now. Now we do,
You don't
though.
have to have a target. You can submit 0.
Oh, it's up to. We can submit 0. Okay, that's just my mistake then. We'll start doing that.
Do make sure to... But you've got to find target to bounce right here.
Yeah, now we actually have the target for it, but in the future I'll remember that about Baby. Again, I'm a constructed baby, so I'm going to miss a lot of this stuff as I get used to constructed. Do that, though.
I'll protect you.
And we could go to 2, but we should plus now.
Yeah.
We could also get the...
Go ahead and plus.
because we can get that...
Oh, you could get the Lotus.
Lotus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need to do that.
You
Do
can-
this. So many things we can do. And I'm sure my sequencing is terrible,
Let's skip to the
but
good part.
just trying to actually remember it all.
Ether itself serves me.
And we've got an Ugin out already, so you can't cast any of the... We have all these Planeswalkers out.
Mm-hmm. The funny thing is we've actually set up the circumstance where we want the perihelion, which is what this deck is designed to do.
Where is it?
'Cause right
Come on,
here-
one time.
Well, you can get it with this, or you can get it with the tutor one, or you can get it with the wish. So you've got, like...
We can get it.
There's about 10 ways to draw here. And then watch your opponent scoop before you attack with it again.
Well, they can get one of something here, but we get to attack it down with the others.
So the nice thing is he'll probably bounce... Oh no, he's bouncing the artifact one. I was thinking he was the guy.
Yeah. Yes, Hat. We have it ready in the board. Oh, that counts. We're gonna get Parhelion and make him scoop. They just knew we were gonna get Parhelion and make him scoop. All right. Well, we didn't see the prestige, you know, sticking the landing with the Parhelion.
You want to try one more time?
No, I think we should. We might come back to it, but I want to keep it. Well, we can ask. New deck or one more time? Here, I'll throw a quick poll. We'll do a 20-second poll, and it's new or again. Your choices are new or again. New deck would be
the
what?
next new deck, I'd probably go with Red Recursion next.
Red
just
Recursion.
To revisit the other thing. It was from last week. It's a more updated,
Yeah, it's got
tighter
polish.
version.
Yeah.
Well, it also, the funny thing is, I'm using it now as my grinder deck.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's check
it's
that
sort
out.
of a, you know, it's sort of an explorer psychographic grinder. You know, people who can't live with playing exactly the same goblin deck that everyone else does, but want something with similar viability and speed and kill percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Although, interestingly, a lot of your percentage comes from beating other goblin decks. You're a little bit weaker against control, but stronger against weenies.
Interesting. Okay, so this is Brewing Optimal Red Promise, right? And it's just got updated? All right, so I'm going to get this link.
Last time.
This is the deck we are talking about. This is what we're going to play next.
We don't see it quite yet on your screen.
I want to get rid of the existing one. Well, actually, this is the red-white one, right? Is this mono-red or is this another?
This one is mono-red.
Okay, well, do you think it's better than this? Are you ever doing...
I believe it is better than
so
this. It evolved out of this.
Let's just kill this one then.
You know what would be wonderful one day? If we had software quality version controlling.
Yeah.
For decks. And
seeing
there's
the
no
history.
reason the same model wouldn't work. Well, not just the history, but see the forks and the ads and how you change the decks over time. That would be kind of awesome.
Good news. We have all of these and don't need to change it. So this is New Promise.
The deck has better draw than it did before. It also has the Steamkin. So I learned something amazing about the Steamkin. The Steamkin in Saheeli is crazy because you get a Steamkin and a Saheeli token out.
Copy.
And the counters stay. Even when the token reverts back, it still keeps the +1 counters. So you wind up making a bunch of little monsters.
Right. That seems sweet.
It is really sweet.
Pat is suggesting a split on Frenzy and Chandra. Do you think Chandra has any... You want to try one Chandra in here? Or you think...
Please. No, go ahead.
Like that?
Yeah, I had been playing with them. I wasn't super happy with my Chandra, but that may have been the times I tried her. I don't know. I'm more of a Frenzy person. But, I mean, the difference, it's very hard to tell. We're talking super fine lines here. It would take me dozens of games to be able to tell.
keepable.
Absolutely. The void
Are we
is
crashing
a great
through?
land in this dead. Yeah. Get something in your graveyard so we can get the engine started. Other
Void?
land. Yes, void first. Get rid of that. See, we're already up a card over the last build.
Yeah, if you're not running Chain Whirlers, you might as well get some value out of your, quote, second color. And we have the card we need against that.
Absolutely.
Kill walkers on sight if you're red.
They're as bad as elves.
Worse. That looks solid,
It's
but
true
we'll
skeptical.
we get the Saheeli first.
World yields to art, not oppression.
Since chat has scrolled a bit, I'm going to re-paste in the link to this deck. This is what we're playing right now.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, so we can Steamkin and Promise. No.
Well, you can Steamkin
Shock?
and Shock and block with the 1/1 that you make as an instant.
Yeah, in fact, so we'll just leave that. Oh yeah, the list, we made one swap to the list I just pasted, and that was to put in a Chandra over a third Frenzy. We're just trying that. Sneaky, sneaky. Miss on one spell. Okay, there we go. Now we can... I guess it wouldn't have mattered. We can finale for two.
Mm-hmm. You probably want to fire off the
Finale.
finale here.
Yeah.
Because you can get the Chandra out afterwards. Make sure that you tap the colorless in this, but I guess
Sick.
you're
It
only
doesn't
going to do
matter.
it
Let's
for
see.
one.
Oh, maybe
So I
I suppose...
believe you swing here first.
Should have. I should have Saheeli'd first, though, right? Oh, we didn't have
I
a spell
couldn't-
yet. We
didn't
didn't
have
have a spell yet. Okay,
You're
good.
still going to get a bonus grow, but swing first.
Sure.
Now
And
turn
Chandra?
one. Turn one first.
What's that?
Convert one of your
Convert one.
guys
Sure.
into a
Yeah,
runaway.
yeah. Boop, boop. Then pull
Now.
this and Chandra.
Chandra's, they're both great. Fantastic.
Ideally, you finish on Experimental Frenzy, so...
Activator.
Yes, right.
Sit back and watch it burn.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Unanswered Steamkin, man.
Two
Yeah.
unanswered.
Yeah, you can't let
now.
Steamkins just sit there. Now, do you like reanimating the old one to get it up to 4? Or do you want to make counters on different artifacts?
I never had anyone live long enough for it to matter when I was in that circumstance.
Sure.
So I think I'd probably go with a new one because I'm optimistic. Turn the guy first before you cast.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Not used to this sequencing. Okay, so we go... Yeah, well, let's go wide.
I know how to stop you.
And you also probably want to draw first.
Oh, sure. I'm just kind of casting stuff here. Let's take a look now, though, before it is too late.
Oh, it's you burning.
Oppo toughing it out here.
Wait.
Too late.
You wanted to get the mana probably, but
I'm just trying to charge ahead with the 4/4s, but
milk them both first.
too late.
Okay, you probably would draw a bolt, given your circumstance.
Well, I'm just at this point.
Either way,
I'm just all in aggro is kind of how I'm thinking.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. You're dominating this game. All 4 roads lead to Rome. Although you definitely want to have a frenzy out here.
So we go. Can we do it though?
Yeah, take 6 mana. You get the mana.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking this was on 2, not 3. Yeah, sorry.
Don't forget to play the crash through
Yeah,
first.
crash through first. And yeah, frenzy.
I will say right here, the only thing better than a friend's, and got to land down there.
Oh, I did. Sweet. And nothing else castable. What is it?
That's it for here.
I just never sure. Like, so much going on, and it paused for me. So I thought, well, what I must have something.
I think it could help.
Well, that worked. I didn't give myself the optimal % chance at winning at the end, but it was a pretty high one, and I just kind of shoved. I played the optimal speed game, I guess.
You see why I like grinding with this deck.
Yeah, this is
Fast, it's fun, and it's different.
It might be my new grind deck because I do love basically mono red for being fast and effective, but it is a little stale. So this is kind of like a not stale mono red deck.
I couldn't agree more with you, son. Yeah.
Looks good again.
Absolutely. And it's kind of exciting too, which is kind of neat.
Pew pew pew. Rumbutt asks, Chandra actually has the potential to work really well with Frenzy, right? I mean, I don't have Chandra in front of me, so I'm forgetting exactly what the ability you're thinking of that that does that is, but I believe you. Ooh, a mountain is what we wanted as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
Shock the
Chandra
Collector
does work well with Frenzy. She can unclog the top of your deck.
Rumbutt didn't want the second land off the top. I liked it. Steamkin, or because they're green, we might just set up a Steamkin Runaway.
I would go Steamkin. Although you'll note one of the new cards in the deck to balance the instance.
This one?
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain on it, but it's a lot of fun and a lot of threat. It also can, of course, activate your the Healy tokens that have cloned into Steamkins and other things.
Right. And now Hat is explaining the Chandra interaction. Yeah, that is good. I like that. So, big champ. Sahili tokens can't block it. We might be able to go shock.
So they can block it
sprint
when
this.
you pump them up.
Yeah. Oh, right. I'm saying, yeah. But as a standing,
Right.
also, and pumping it with sprint doesn't get it done. But I think we go shock here.
Mm-hmm.
Get this done now. Don't let him. And then we have sprint to trade with the champ when it attacks, which is not ideal, but
you might even either way.
we could take it. But like, how are we killing this eventually if we don't take the opportunity we have
Take
now?
it. Just stay back, bluff into him, and let him kill it, and that's okay. We're pretty good on card advantage.
Hat wants to eat 5. If we do that, though, what's our long-term plan? I'm fine with that if we have a long-term plan.
We do, and our long-term plan is to crush him with the finale of Promise.
So this is decision time.
It is. I would probably kill him, but that's just me being more of a suppression player. The Pat's, I guess I'm not a good enough pro to know which one's better. I don't have enough experience with the deck.
Yeah, that's the thing. Finale the Steel Leaf, it seems all well and good, but we just don't have the cards for that yet. I'm gonna do it.
It's the more conservative play, and I just don't know if it's right or not.
And do we want land, I guess.
I
Although
don't think we do.
Oh yeah, you're right. We don't. I was thinking we needed to get to to X of 2, but we actually don't. So we'll look for action. Nobody expects the Samut sprint in the competitive queue. We can place a Healy, and she can live through one Ranger attack, and then we can get this stuff going.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that.
Behold, new wonders.
If we find a land, we get to Warlord into Finale successfully. Well, Saheeli still lives. But that is a problem. I guess Steamkin Fury. Because if we Finale, what are we doing here? We have
Shock. One. We're only on the instant, so yeah, you've got to. That was what we didn't want. Now we scoop.
The red deck didn't want the 12-12?
Yeah, the red deck didn't want the 12-12.
All we need is 4 lightning strikes. What are you talking about? Or 3? No, 4 lightning strikes. We can do it, and I can do math. I think the design mistake. Jay, what do you think? Oh yeah. Well, whatever. We're dead. We can scoop this one up. But what do you think about the design decision to use the exile clause, the anti-exile clause on the gods? To Luis Scott Vargas's position, and I echo it, is that was a mistake. And I was in R&D when when Billy Moreno designed Mist Hollow Griffin. Is it Mist Hollow Griffin?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I think we ever printed, or R&D ever printed anything that said the Exile Zone wasn't really the Exile Zone, unless it was obviously to interact with it in things like Suspend or whatever. But in terms of, I cast an Exile spell on your creature, it was the first card that said, no, that doesn't even count, we can get it back. And I didn't like it then, and I especially didn't like it because it was such a weak card. I mean, Billy's justification, if I may pop to soapbox screen for a second, Billy's argument for making that card was, come on, it's a cool design space and it's not breaking anything. Like, nothing is going to break here. And it's like, yeah, it's not about that it doesn't break for me, though. It's about that, like, Exile Zone had a meaning that was useful shorthand for players to understand that if a creature ended up there, it had a game meaning, that it was done for, it was gone, it was removed from game. And now, like, I really didn't want them to put up a situation where that unglued card or whatever is now a thing. And now the unglued card really is a thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I have a different issue with the gods.
What's your take on the gods?
So my issue is I strongly dislike things that lead to repetitive gameplay, especially when they're kill conditions. I mean, I'm okay with the gods being a really tough puzzle to solve. The problem is they lead to a very stale play where I'm going to play out my guy who's going to 2-for-1 you every 3 turns, and you're going to lose deterministically. Or he's every 3 turns, I'm going to have this creature, you're going to have to burn spells, and I'm just going to exhaust your deck that way.
Right. So
making
almost
that the right strategy is a problem.
So in effect, your critique of it is more along the lines of a buyback critique, where buyback was not a great mechanic because of the repeated play patterns it produced, you know?
Exactly.
And who was it? Somebody observed that Squee already broke that barrier. So Guru points out that Squee came out before these gods and already destroyed the Exile Zone that way. And Squee might be the one, like, I'll say this. If Billy Moreno had designed Squee as the first Exile Zone breaking card, and that was like the only time they ever did it, I think I would be okay with it. And that, because that has serious flavor justification. I think it's very clever to make Squee unkillable even by Exile Zone, because that is his brand in the story, right? So
he sacrifices himself to save the universe and comes back.
Yeah, but also, like, is there other like, I'm not a super story goob, but people anyway, it's his shtick that he is unkillable and that you can't make him go away. And so I like it for that character specifically. I don't like it in a cycle, and I don't like how this cycle unfortunately sets up precedents. You know, R&D can be a lot like law, like the courts, where what you can and can't do when trying to decide that, you often look backwards and say, well, what have we done, and what do we think about that? And so even having them as precedents to justify further erosion of the Exile Zone, I don't like that either.
And understand, I'm not dismissing your erosion of the Exile Zone. That's a perfectly valid issue. It's just my secondary issue. My first issue is I think they're bad play.
Right.
Squee was good play also. That was the other thing. I liked one of Squee in several decks, especially when he played the Mox.
So anyway, we both agree they have some issues at the very least. We'll go back to battlefield view here.
And how did they manage to make the green one the worst of the bunch?
Yeah, right?
Wow.
Maybe no. We're not really getting these into the graveyard. Oh, that's not... So you find these Phoenixes to be viable even just without a heavy graveyard, heavy pitching component, right?
Mm-hmm. I do. And again, you've got a Saheeli, so you'll be able to copy into them.
Mm-hmm.
They give you some really viable threats and knock out planeswalkers really well.
Let's see if they do some work here or not. Do we have ways to pitch them? Are there...
Oh, yeah, you've still got Torment.
Torment is in the deck.
No question they're a late game card and nothing I want 3 of in my initial hand.
Sorry, I distracted a second as I check texts from my children. Got a text with your children. Arcanist here, and then...
Oh, yeah.
We got Crash Through to send in through it, or Shock?
Well, you would Saheeli... Assuming you draw land, you Saheeli attack with the guy, play out of the graveyard, get a token.
Yep. That'd be great.
That's sort of plan A. But plan A involves you top decking the land. Plan B is you attack and top deck the land.
Vargan suggests basically doing what the Unglued set did and create a new zone. But that's exactly what I didn't want to have happen.
Exiler? Oh, this, by the way, is another discard mechanism.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
I put that in on purpose for that exact reason.
I don't think it's what we want to do yet, though.
Not yet.
But I love it.
Felt like a very elegant way to discard, and I needed a couple more to talk about.
That's pretty perfect, too.
Nice top deck.
Yeah? Do we leave that? Cast the Healing, leave this on top?
I would be pretty happy with it. Yeah,
yeah.
Good.
All right. If we go... Oh, wait, this is... Oh, instants and sorceries. Too bad. If this were an instant or sorcery, we would have the play of Warlord into land, play the land, shock, and then ditch everything and get it all back. But this is not an instance or sorcery, so it would not work. Hey, speaking of the gods, back-to-back games, trying to face down these. Awkward.
So you can attack in. You can't attack into it and kill it. You have to bolt it first if you want to do that.
Yeah, if
but
we
let's
wanna
give
threaten
yourself
it.
first strike first and see what we get.
Good point. Now we have 5 to put it off for a little bit.
So interestingly, if you attack, and you play your thing out of the graveyard,
This Fury.
and you draw land,
Yeah.
you do kill his guy.
Right. Let's give it a shot. Also, they might...
I don't think he'll block.
Yeah, they're not going to block because the Kefnet's too valuable. Almost hit decline there. Weird UI. It's like, of course I want to do that. Found the land Jay was hoping for.
That works.
Yeah, I was trying to figure... Too bad we can't find 4 damage to put on it right now, but so be it. This doesn't get, like, bigger or anything, right? No, just dead. Okay. Just checking.
Make sure the yeah.
Yeah. Auto tap almost got me, but I recovered just in time.
So unless he's, I don't believe this version has the tech in it that's playing the anti-pirate sweeper, pirate the cannoneers or something, which means he's going to probably lose to our horde of little tokens by blocking. Oh, you don't, yeah.
I just I meant to click to look. I meant to right click because I wanted to bring her up over here, but accidentally left clicked.
And between Frenzy and the Arclights, there's a lot of danger here for him or her.
Yeah, I wonder if we draw a land, would you be interested in getting those arc lights? Nah, probably just want to cast the arc lights at this point. Wow, they're going after Sahili with burn.
That.
Yeah, that's a good sign when they're going after your Sahili with burn.
What I would probably do here is drop
Just
out an
Arclight.
arc light and then copy it.
Yeah, good call.
That's going to be about a 10-point smack.
Skeptical Hat, I was just saying that didn't work because Keld isn't an instant or sorcery. If it had been, I would have.
Oh, so that's what he's doing. Or she's doing.
I must accept defeat.
Oppo's got.
For now.
Yeah, Oppo got our Sahili, but we have some pretty good stuff here. I think we just.
I think we made his
Dump-
arc light him
dump
and
arc
swing for
lights.
7.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet we've got more arc lights than they do.
Certainly in hand, I would bet it. Or available to us right now. Watch them go. Pitch 2 arc lights and win. Funny. 2 Flame of Kelds is pretty much your ultimate non-bow.
Right, and you have exactly 2 in the deck for that reason.
So we're just going Phoenix again, though, right? And then trying
You might
to
go experimental right here.
really just give up on the hand.
Yeah, well, you'll get to it.
4,
You can torment
5.
it out. I just, Oppo's tapped out. Get experimental and see if you can get the engine going. It's
All
certainly going to scare Oppo a whole lot. And we got an extra land play. And hey, a bolt. You don't need it right now.
Yeah,
but
we'll just leave it there. Just got to make sure we don't
set a
draw
stop.
it. Well, it automatically stops at the end, so it's fine. No stops needed.
Yep. The nice thing is this deck has more than enough burn to burn out the Oppo.
But since we don't know what's on the top of our own library, I'm going to put a stop on our upkeep, because if there's another lightning strike underneath, for example, we want to cast
call.
that before we draw. Okay. I like
Lightning rods.
lightning rods. Although, yeah, it's interesting. Why wouldn't you at least just do the Phoenix? I know it can come back, but like... Okay, there you go.
That's why.
That's why. They were doing it later. Do they have more phoenixes in here? Because they've done the 3.
I haven't seen one.
But now I got to make sure we wait until they pass the phoenix trigger point before we kill it, or the phoenix would come right back. But now that it has, we'll just do it. And now we see Steamkin that we can't cast at instant, so we can remove this stop. All right. Unfortunate to get stalled at only 2 there. And drawing Saheeli, so that's just going to go in our dead hand.
What's in your discard right now?
What's in my discard?
Yeah, do we have anything? Oh, good, we've got a shock in there.
Yeah, no sorcery to get us 2 things out of... we have Arcanist, though, is what you're talking about. Yeah, that makes sense.
But we have a reasonable chance of drawing one. Or something.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're fairly low in life. If we top deck a shock, they're in.
Yeah, especially with Frenzy. I mean, you could just rattle off easy kill. 3/3/3, dead. Although this isn't like playing all of the bolts that are available in Standard or anything. Ideally, we find a thing to pitch these phoenixes. Gosh, all of this churning, but nothing that we want to churn. Might have to sack this for next turn. But we do get to pitch some Arclight Phoenixes now.
That's true.
If we're not completely dead, that is.
The question is, I don't think we want to attack. Well, if we attack, we get the land off the top. That's the thing.
We get the land off the top. And that's probably worth it.
It probably is. It's sort of a toss-up, but I think you do it. No. Yeah.
That stupid decline button. I'm gonna screw that up one of these times.
Nice pull off the top, though. Discard 2 arc lights. There's a plan.
And now Finale gets us the arc lights all back. Unless are there any in here? Yeah, there's one in here, so we don't get that back.
Again, it's enough to keep them incredibly scared. I would agree, Skeptical Hat. I think that's plan C or D for discarding.
But it's funny how it does happen with Frenzy and all these cantrips. Oh, they got there. In terms of getting a bunch of Phoenixes back here, or one more. Are we just dead? No, not just dead. But we need to make them just dead.
We do. This is our turn. That's not terrible start.
Not terrible. Put it on here, just to
Don't
get
have
it
anywhere else
going.
to put it. Got to get the engine going somewhere.
And leave that. Does that help us though?
I don't think it helps us.
No,
here.
we just need to find other more instantly aggro.
Mhm. That's 2. There we go. Make sure
Alright.
to tap the colorless.
Yeah. Let's see. Make sure what we're actually doing here. We want strike. Do we want the strike, or can we get away with 1? Just because 1 versus 2 on X could be a big difference here.
It could. I don't know.
I guess we just want 1 because we're gonna
Sure.
shock the Phoenix anyway. So I'm gonna actually back this up and go boom, boom, boom. Got hit with another land on the top there, which is too bad. We're so close. Can we get there? So close.
If we had kept Saheeli, we would have gotten there, oddly enough. If we kept Saheeli, we could have converted the token into a 3/2.
We're not dead, though, so I'll attack with 2. And leave 1 back to chump. And discard a bunch of sadness. Uh-oh. That probably helps them get their phoenixes back, which
That'll get
should,
their
should
phoenixes back.
put us away. They'd have to be exceedingly unlucky to resolve 2 chart a course and not find a 3rd spell.
I don't know. There they go. They're good.
All right. Well, that was close. We got him down pretty tight, pretty low, but couldn't quite finish it off.
Yeah, I think we could have won this one had we played it properly. We could have won it if we gotten the lightning bolt too.
Indeed. All right. You got it, Oppo. The deck we were using is this.
So there's one other deck that I'd like to y'all take a look at.
Sure. Let's play a few with that, and then I'm going to close out my day. But let's see. What do we got here?
So the other deck I'd like you to take a look at is where the Adapt and Evolve deck goes with green, black, white.
Green, white, black, adapt and evolve. Okay.
That would be it.
So here's the one I am loading right now, everybody. It's going to be our final deck of the day. If you want to, so we can talk. Last week we had a poll and gave Jay the Parhelion challenge. We can look for that again. We can, but it doesn't have to be. We don't have to stick to the same kind of plan for the following week. Like, we've been looking at 3 different ways to view constructed content here, and that's on a spiky level where we're trying to actually attack queues in EV positive ways in terms of win percentage. There's Timmy Johnny style where, hey, this isn't going to win over 50% of its games, but its wins are sweet, and that's okay with us because we're here for fun. And then there's, hey, I don't have a lot of resources. I'm on a free-to-play account, and I put most of my available wealth towards limited, but I do like standard. How do I approach a light free-to-play account for constructed? So those are like the 3 groups, and really I've done a couple of polls, and there's been interest in all 3 at different approaches. So one of the things we could do is ask Jay to think about a different question over the course of the week. Like, maybe next week we make this next week is free-to-play day, where we try to, rather than roll out these sweet decks that Jay has worked on, we instead spend a day maybe even working with my 3rd throwaway account that doesn't have a lot of stuff on it, and ask ourselves how we would approach free-to-play constructed in that context. So there's many ways we can go here. Think about that as we test out this last deck, and we'll figure out what to aim for next week.
Queen, there are some really good angel decks that can be made. The green white being one example of them. Just through life gain and the 3-drop angel.
It's like, why didn't that work? Because I didn't do it right. There was nothing to import. Now this should work. All right.
So this deck is not at 100%, just be warned, but it comes out of the gates so strong. What it's really looking for is the right finisher, and I'm not quite sure where that is yet. It does dominate the early mid game pretty well.
So this is the second time I've seen you run a base green kind of mid-rangey deck that uses 4x wild growth and only the Jade Light Rangers. You don't run... Do you think, like... Is this just a hedge to get lucky against the red decks? And because basically you go Walker into Ranger against mono red and they kind of scoop. I'm uncomfortable with 4 Walkers and only 4 ways to make it anything other than a 1/3.
So I think I'm looking for more value out of each of my cards, and I think that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the 2-drop is the delta on him is really bad compared to the other cards.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't use him. He's not bad. He's perfectly fine. He's just not an all-star. And I'm pushing for a higher level out. I need a higher return out of my cards. Yeah, without the Explore guys, you know, the Wild Growth Walker's obviously an inferior card. But I am going to draw one of them in time, especially in a deck like this where I have lots of card power and I'm not losing early.
Like, what would you think? Like, my inclination is to at least go like down 2 Pollen Bright Druid, since this kind of looks like a late game proliferate play more, as much as like that's the main thing you want to do with it, and like swapping this for 2 of the
Explore enchantment.
No, this dude. This is the one you never play that I feel like
the Branch Walker
ought to be in the deck if we have the Walkers. Like, we don't need to play the black one, but but it feels like having 6 of these.
What matchup does it help me against?
Well, it does help with the red.
It doesn't help with the red. That's the thing.
Well, they are attacking.
Sure, he's just a body, but he's a bad body against the red. He's a shock target for more than 1 mana. And so he doesn't really help my deck against red. He's no different than Pollen Bright, who's also going to eat a shock. On the other hand, Pollen Bright is really helpful against a lot of other decks. I don't know any deck he gives me an edge on. And again, it's not that the guy isn't a better card. He's not better for the metagame. If you really want more ways to do it, go for the 4-drop Explore enchantment. That will trigger and give you a tremendous amount of life off of the Wild Growth Walker, enough so that it enables the ability to play any of the life spend black cards.
How about 1 Path of Discovery then? And like, you say Vrask is like the best, though. Would you go down there?
Vrask is hard to pull. Vrask solves almost everything.
So like, either then you're cutting down on
pull
ramp,
Pollen Bright, or
cut a single Pollen Bright, like that.
You could pull in Find. Find is the card it's really good. I mean, the value out of it's tremendous, but it's weirdly non-synchronous with the rest of the deck.
Mm-hmm. There's also this one. Someone's suggesting if you don't think Branch Walker helps against red, maybe flipping the power and toughness is better for that.
That's kind of, I haven't tested that a whole lot in comparison, and that might be viable. The only problem is the mana might hurt it enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2/3 would be great against red.
Let's try
it's
one.
Nice
I'm gonna try 1 for science. Let's do this. Let's do this, and you want back a Pollen Bright Druid, or that puts us at 60. So
you're at 60. Give it a whirl.
All right, let's try this.
Let's give it a whirl. I mean, I said this one is not quite locked in. I've just loved the way that it's been developing. You have so many nice locks against people. and so many ways to beat them. It's this weird, nice overlap between your 4-drop planeswalkers that can be kind of crazy good.
And you have Hat also asking about which one you're talking about. Dead Walkers. This doesn't get Dead Walkers back, though, right? This is what you're talking about, right, Hat? These memorials? Funny, I have no... Oh, it's because these is on. There we go.
So the 0/3 might be a good choice, as ridiculous as that sounds.
The Reach dude that I hate in Limited?
No, the Wall of Wood Explorer. No one ever plays him.
Oh, sure.
He might actually be, in this crazy format, a good choice. Because he's really pretty good against the red, and he's an Explorer trigger. If you want to...
I don't even have any.
Isn't he a common?
Yeah, well, I never drafted him. Never drafted him, and never...
Right. I mean...
Can I try this instead?
He's better for the mana base. If you just want an Explorer trigger, there you go. It's better than the 3.
Oh, no, we don't have the wild cards. I got to go buy more wild cards. Let's see.
I know it's kind of a crazy card.
Oh, we need those too. All right, back to the store. Getting low, though. I don't think I want to actually bust out my wallet literally right here on stream. Packs, and we're missing...
We can certainly wait on him. We've got the deck set up where it's worth taking a look at before. I always like to play with the deck a few times before deciding things anyway.
I'm gonna risk it, though. We're gonna burn through our gems here. See if we can pick up a few more. WCs.
Let's tear this place apart.
No natural wild cards yet. Come on. Right here. Boom. Nope. Well, we get one guaranteed here. It was optimal for entertainment value, and gosh, no natural wilds. What do we got? So we got 10 mythics and only 1 rare. All right. So let's go back to that deck, and we're gonna budget it a little bit. Starting with these groves. So we need some green-white lands to replace that. And we'll go with 1 Temple Garden and 2 Expanses. And then we're gonna... which one of these is more important for the deck, do you think? I like a Johnny better, but...
you need the full set.
Of both of these?
Absolutely.
Well, then we gotta go spend. Let's see.
You have to, if you have to buy them, that's different.
Yeah, we only have 1 rare.
You've got to have the green white.
That's what I was feeling like. So for
Part
now,
of it is one of the things that often happens and allows you to use the wild growth walkers as well is you get to recur them with a black-white planeswalker, so you can get the half of the combo you're missing.
I see. Did you want to run?
That's part of why I'm happy to throw one out and tell the red deck to bolt it, because I'm just going to bring him back.
Anything in here worth a main, or do you want to bring?
There's the green-white 3-drop that puts counters on, gains 4 life, and destroys an artifact and enchantment. That's not... The delta's a little low, but the utility's crazy good. Green-white rare...
Knight of Autumn.
I forget his name.
Even Knight of is not enough of a...
There he is. I think that's him. Over to the... He's on your screen.
Yeah, did you mean this one?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
You can play one or... He's a fine substitute for anything in this deck. Again, it's just his delta is a little bit lower than everything, but he does what everything else does.
All right. I'm just gonna, rather than retype everything, just blank everything so the bottom bar is not a lie. Solid keep here. Tomb, Garden. Oh, here's Expanse. That's the play. Was checking to see if we had any ETB tapped, and we had one. What do you like here?
Yeah.
Druid, Walker, or Guardian?
Mana.
Mana.
He's only got a 50-50-ish of being able to remove your mana, and if you can get a mana edge, that could be everything.
What do we want to do on this turn? We have, we can go Mana and Walker, or Mana and Growth Chamber. Growth Chamber threatens to trade with the Reaper at least.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I like that.
I agree.
And we'll do it painlessly while we can. Ixalan rotates in the fall, like September-ish, October-ish, Umpax. Whenever the fall set is officially in Standard.
Best card ever.
Shadows. For now.
Part of the reason I think I like the card so much is the delta is high and the utility is high, which is about all you can ask for out of a card.
We're losing Dom already? What do you mean by that? Oh, in the rotation? Yeah. Well, whatever the whatever the first set of the year after, like whatever the winter set is, you have the shortest amount of time with.
So you're going to hopefully evolve and swing?
Well, we could just finality and wipe. We could evolve and swing, or
Evolve and swing into the Planeswalker. See if you can get a piece of card advantage out of it.
All right. Well, let's do.
Or I guess it's yeah.
Do it like this to make sure we're doing it the right way.
Seems good too.
Ooh, double Reaper. Well, now we have fine finality, and we get to keep our Druid at least. And then it can finish off Vraska. They're really refilling their grip, but what are you going to do? That's why this is a powerful magic card.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we care if they're refilling their grip.
Yeah.
It's about board control more than...
You like the line though? We're gonna finality here, right?
Can we keep both of our druids and do it? If we do it the other way? I actually I might not do it. I would probably pump up the other druid, swing with the other druid, see how many more creatures I can get out of them, if possible.
Okay, and I think we can even play the Walker after that, can't we?
That'd be even better.
Let's see if we go green. We're not doing anything with that anyway, so this is fine.
The other thing, if we wanted the finality, we could finale. We don't have 6, so we're one shot. Yeah.
All right, they're okay with that.
Perfect. So are we.
Can we just lose if we take this? I'm
a higher risk player, I think, than you are, but either way, you know.
We're planning to finality though, and that's going to kill this no matter what. So
it's not going to kill it.
It will though, because we want Well, yeah, we could save that one, huh? All right, fine. I'll take the high risk line then. Let's see if they add to the board.
I mean, we're bluffing having an explorer. Please kill it. Thank you. And it worked for us.
So we can go to 1 to then have these available for attacking. I don't know if that makes a big difference though of 3, because we could also just use this and attack with 1.
I think we attack with 1, and then we finality, and then we drop out of growth order.
Lord Nicholas will not be pleased.
Lord Nicholas, I don't even know who that is. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we do get everything and a tapped land. So we go add this. Oh, I see. It's a Nicol Bolas reference I didn't get. Well, that turned around. Let's see if it's good.
Well, he's going to try and play his combo out and see if he's got enough position or life.
I just want to share this deck again since we don't have the Stream Decker up. I just pasted a link to what we're playing here.
I lead the Golgari now.
That's pretty good.
Step aside or be crushed.
Puts us in a spot.
It does, and this is the type of thing that we're looking for a good finisher on, and
that ain't it.
No.
No, we're just dead.
Yeah, we overman it.
All right, I'm going to give one more playthrough on this deck, and then we're going to decide what we're working towards next week and say farewell. Thank you all for hanging out. Let's go back in. I'm going to have to go grinding on the free-to-play account, which we didn't even open today. I mean, we could do that. How about that? We'll play one more here, and then for anybody who wants to stay, I'm going to show you how I approach grinding on the free-to-play account when I'm not on stream with it.
Even though I'll be on stream with it. Fantastic about Dreadhorde, by the way. It seemed like a crazy card to print.
Yeah, it's also like what a commander card. That community's got to be going nuts for that thing. Let's go Temple Garden tapped, facing mono red, or I assume so anytime I see a mountain open. It's very rare to see an open mountain that doesn't lead to mono red. Here we can get Cemetery down untapped, and we put him to the test. We don't have the important... I mean, kill Steamkin on site or he might lose, but we have the counter kill Walker on site or red loses. Thing is, what's going to happen is they're going to play Lightning Strike on the Walker and then light up the stage or whatever, and then it's going to be really tough for us to recover. Yeah, that's true. It is sometimes gruel. It is sometimes gruel these days. Good point. I really don't like paying life. Oh, we get the Ranger here. That's fine.
Yeah, we have the Ranger followed by Veronica.
Knight of Autumn, good against this as well, so we'll keep that on top.
Knight of Autumn, good against everything. That should have been the Knight's flavor text.
Just main deck, it'll be fine.
Good, just not quite great.
And we're going to play that with a tapped Tomb, so we don't take 2 off the Tomb, and we're going to gain some life off the Knight. Well, what do you want to do? You want to go Vraska?
I would play Vraska. I'd take the damage.
Take out the Steamkin while we can?
Mm-hmm.
All right, fair enough. Steamkin is that important.
Also, the nice thing is they're going to kill your Jade Light for you here.
Leave before I make you disappear. I won't forgive this.
You think they're going to kill the Jade Light so that they can attack
but you have to stay
Vraska?
back and let them kill your Jade Light, and now you can also find your Jade Light and your Wonder Light.
It's not often I'm
Or maybe not. Maybe they'll kill that one.
Huh?
Oh, there.
Well, good. We got land. We got Knight of Autumn. We'll gain some life. We will play the Evolving Wilds, and then hopefully we have finality on a land draw after that. And old guy's gonna use this before he forgets. Just another forest seems fine. Ouch. Well, land off the top and we're still okay. Well, that makes it rough on the follow. No land off the top, but we'll go Sage. And we'll put a counter on the Sage. Doesn't really matter because nothing can block the... regardless of how we do this, the Chain Whirlers cannot be blocked without death, but at least we can threaten to chump a Chain Whirler and eat a Pyromancer here.
Chump them both.
Chump them both. Yep, I like chump them both. We're just trying to get to finality.
You've got one more pull than I thought you'd have.
All right, untapped land for the scoop. Well, it's not like we took a land out for this, but not the greatest we've seen. And I think even getting back something... we can get Knight of Autumn back and gain 4, but then we're going to be overwhelmed from there. There isn't a second finality in the deck, though, so let's play to that out. Or maybe we took one out. We might have gone down one, actually, now that I think of it.
We took one out for the Path of Discovery. The funny thing is you're making me want to build a deck with the Wall of Wood Explorers.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the secret.
I may have to do that for next week, just for my own personal edification. Wonder how many of those I have.
Right. Well, hopefully you have some common wild cards. If not, we can...
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right. We had the one out. I mean, if we found a land and had swept, I think they then scoop, but we couldn't come up with it there. So let's head over And Jay, if you want to stick around, you can. I'm really just doing this because I'm literally going to end up doing this anyway. When we don't fully grind the free-to-play account on stream, I always try to grind it off stream. And so I'm going to do that today anyway. Might as well do it now, and you guys can stick around for that or not. But that's what the plan is. So we're going to go to the free-to-play account and grind its gold for the day and show some techniques there.
I will head on, but I did have a question of what's my homework.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to ask.
Explore on my own, just because I want to see it.
Right, you can keep evolving the explore stuff. I'm going to throw it to. As I'm logging in here, I'll start with a poll. Really, I think next week we should either do. We can either give them another build around assignment, or we can do free to play. We can focus on thinking about how to approach brewing in a free to play world. So your options are going to be give a 30-second poll, and we're going to go brew, which is just do another. Figure out a card and have them brew it, or free to play. Obviously there's brewing in both of these, but brew is let's find a card and make them build around it, or free to play is spend the week thinking about tips and tricks to give to players who are working on a limited budget on free to play. Oh, I didn't put in seconds. Let me redo that. And if people want to do a brew again, then we will figure out what to brew after that. Oh, I just did it wrong with a comma. There we go. Well, nothing to spin here today. So it's actually not a lot of exciting grinding tricks here because we have nothing to flip and no extra quests to work with. But basically, like, let's say we had a 500... cast whatever red and black spells, well then we'd say, okay, we don't want to complete the 500, or we'd spin it, and if we ended up there, we'd say, well, we don't want to complete the 500, we want to spin that tomorrow, so we would focus on like a blue deck. But as it is, this is like my favorite thing in the world to get, because it is trivially easy to complete 750 quests with mono blue or mono red, or in this case, drakes. We could do drakes. Okay, so it looks like we're brewing. And so then next week, start thinking about what cards you want to suggest Jay brew around here, and we'll do another poll on those. Throw out some, and Jay, you can do it too. Are there cards that are tickling your fancy that you're like, well, I've had this and this in mind, and so if there's stuff that you are kind of eyeing, we can throw that in the poll as well. But start tossing out some ideas.
So just to, things that I've been starting to poke at, I've been playing a little bit with some blue-red stuff. Part of it is looking at is there a better way to fix the blue-red deck? I actually really wanted to look at maybe a blue-green, can I break Karn's Time Warp? Recurring it possibly with Gaia's Blessing or some other methodology.
Karn's Temporal whatever is what you're talking about, right?
Karn's Temporal whatever. There's any of the gods. I generally am very suspect of the first builds that come out of things. So the legendary artifact, the 6-drop pay life, I'm wondering if there's a more effective version of that out there. And that's been sort of at the back of my mind. Of course, as someone mentioned, there's a couple of new formats coming up that we're going to have to deal with that I'd like to get a jump on.
This is the free-to-play account, and I am going to use wildcards because the...
Submersible's a great suggestion.
Just let me finish here, though. I have 2 Mythic Rares wildcards. This is the free-to-play account where I only use wildcards on stuff we're trying to complete, but fortunately, in this case, Finale of Promise fits that bill, so we're going to go ahead and craft those. Sorry, keep going.
Oh, sure. So we've the submersible that... I'm sorry, I'm going to mangle the name. Kessim Boo Boo has. I suspect you may be able to resurrect the merfolk with it. And that would be interesting.
Merfolk submersible, interesting.
Yeah, right now merfolk isn't working very well. which is a shame because it was so incredibly dominant for a short while. And I'm wondering if the submersible's enough to fix it.
Okay, so then before, so let's see. What I'm going to do another poll so we can let Jay go before I do this grinding here. And what are some? Let's see. We had. I'm going to call it sub for submersible. What other cards? Gate. The Karn. I'm going to call it Karn for the temporal sundering. Okay, so submersible, temporal sundering. What else have we got?
Karn, temporal sundering. We talked about
Thran temporal gateway was suggested.
That's something someone else put in there, which someone else had suggested earlier on, which
1,000-Year Storm,
Spark Double with Shahili or similar.
Okay, so
and Spark Double could be a lot of fun. There may be a viable green-white Enchantress also, if that's of interest.
Well, let's see. We had Enchantress, Thran Temporal Gateway is not on the list yet. Zombies, 1,000-Year Storm. Any, the 1,000-Year Storm card?
Absolutely. That's one that I haven't. It's screaming to. I mean, it gives you Storm. How it's got to be broken, right?
Mm-hmm. Or Scape Shift, standard Scape Shift.
Ironically, it works with Karn. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Karn may only be planeswalkers and creatures. I'd have to double check it.
Well, how about we settle on just these four for this week's submersible, Karn's Temporal Sundering, Spark. What was the Spark? I don't even remember now.
Yeah, the thing that Spark Double.
Spark Double, and then 1,000-Year Storm. Okay.
Sounds good.
So you're voting sub, Karn, Spark, or 1,000 based on which of the 4 build-arounds you'd like Jay to focus on for next week. Right now, Kasim Bubu is deciding for everybody.
Sub looks like a runaway winner.
Yeah, looks like it.
I'm excited about that too. So that's.
So you can take a look at my decks to see kind of what constructed decks I end up having around here. Like they're all quest, Pauper, Land Quest. Best white is, No Creature Orzhov is a deck I made when I had a 500 gold cast creatures quest and I needed to make black-white. I had anyway, I was trying to dodge all these 500 gold quests and made a decent No Creature Orzhov. That was funny.
I'm looking forward to sharing my screen sometime so I can show you the weird stuff I have from specialty formats. I do wish they had a folder system.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's a little light on that type of stuff for sure. Anyway, I'm going to be grinding with the deck you designed and suggested grinding with, so you can stick around and watch, Jay. But I don't want to keep you.
I'll stick around for a little while.
You can stick around as long as you want. I'm just trying to get mainly our 4 wins. When you have a 750, whatever, we'll get that later. The only thing I want to do before I finish with this account for the day is get at least 4 wins. I could have done the Fury, and maybe I should have. I was just thinking Shock. I like having Shock up, but now I regret it because we want it for the Arcanist. But let's go Void and...
Oh, play the... Yeah, the Void, and then...
You want Crash Through? Yeah, we want that for the combo. So set up combo?
Yeah, Runaway.
Yeah.
You could have a Runaway game here with this hand.
Although you're not playing Light Up the Stage, right? It's hard to get 2 Runaway here without that. That might be one to consider for this deck. That seems so strong, even when you're not quite pinging as much as the traditional mono red does.
I did test it, in all fairness.
Okay, good.
I couldn't get it to work. That doesn't mean that it can't work. It didn't happen. I think that's right.
Yeah, let's do this.
I think you play Turtle this game. Slow and steady.
Fanatic Guru calling me out as a slacker for not grinding out the full 15 by 7 days worth of gold a week. You got me. I consider that suboptimal for my life. It may be optimal for strictly the amount of gold on my free-to-play account, but we must find balance. So now we can go mountain, Sahili.
Pull tokens.
My creations are
Pull.
things of beauty.
Clone. Clone.
Right.
Clone.
Right. We don't have something
Oh, we
to
don't
clone
have-
yet, though.
oh,
That's
you're
why.
right,
So we got to go crash through, then we can clone.
Right. A pretty nice pull.
I like to think fast.
Yeah, it's great. It's perfect. Just want to draw something we don't care about right here. Actually,
That's
it's
even
even
better.
better, right? Jeez.
You're not stopped. You're
I'm
gonna
certainly
pick
not
more.
stopped. Certainly not stopped.
I do think you swing here, but
Oh man, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Let's see. I want extra cards. That was wrong because
No, the card's good.
we're about to pitch it.
don't forget you're gonna
Yeah.
draw. You get mana.
Yep. I know. So.
Oh, but we're gonna lose it all. So
Yeah.
I guess.
But we still want to do this. Can't believe the white deck hasn't scooped yet, but maybe they got a sweeper? Just looks like they're aggro white and don't have a chance here, but we'll see.
And even if they do, so what?
Yep. We got more action right around the corner.
Next turn.
I could take the mana off, but it does literally nothing for us, so I won't bother. We have just arc light shock at the ready, I guess.
So you might want to copy and get an extra. I think you've got 2
Oh, I screwed it up.
card draws.
I was too hasty. I moved to pre-combat, but we can still do something. We could do like shock. Kind of like just let's do this. I don't think it matters. I think we got him. So you just get to shock twice, you know.
Yeah, or you could have gotten 3 damage or an extra card or whatnot. But you have lethal.
So yeah, it's a little bit suboptimal in terms of how negative we could have taken them, but looked like we had that pretty good. Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you for reminding me about the camera position. Sorry you had to sit through that for a game. See, I do keep a view of what my stream looks like, but then I do stuff and a window pops up and then it's covering it and then I forget about it. So I really do appreciate when people tap me on the shoulder about my camera positioning. Go for it whenever you see that. And Motor City Mama, you guys probably. The other thing is the other thing that happens is I forget and then I miss it in chat as well. It's funny how stuff. I'll go back and do VODs for YouTube or whatever, and that's when I notice 17 things people said to me and I just completely missed it. So if you've ever said something to me and I completely missed it, sorry. Are you sure this? I've not yet seen the discard card. Yeah, it's not in here, man. We got 4 Arclight Phoenixes, and the only way to, or 3 Arclight Phoenixes, and the only way to discard them is with Flame of Keld.
I wonder what happened to them.
Too much good stuff.
Absolutely. It means the deck needs got revised somewhere in my testing. I suspect that late at night when I was testing, I made some experiments and didn't turn it back.
I mean, I like me a Phoenix, but I want some way to discard them.
Yeah. Well, we've already found some nice ones, like draw 9 cards.
Mm-hmm. Not your plan A, but it got it done. Dovin.
I'm impressed anyone would be so foolish as to face me.
I don't play against Dovin much. Do we need to go after him?
But I'll make an exception for you.
Probably with at least the shock, if they're going to do it that way. Let's just get rid of Dovin.
The facts can't be denied.
I think you have to shock them both.
Yeah. All right. We're going to flame soon anyway. Probably going Saheeli, Arclight, Flame.
One card that will fit really nicely into here is the new Ball Lightning that they showed.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Is that standard legal, or though is that Horizons?
It's one of the new ones coming out in the new set. I just saw the card in my thread. It's 1 RR. Put 2/3/1 trample, haste, into play. Move at the end of your turn. On the opponent's turn, discard a red card to put them into play.
Mm. Yeah, that's Horizons, though, so that's not standard. We won't be seeing that on Arena, unfortunately.
Right.
Well, Steamkin into Flamekeld actually seems good to me here. Flame of Keld. If this resolves. Actually, no matter what. Yeah, I'm expecting the Absorb, but then we can Flame. Huh. They gonna let that happen? Maybe if they have an answer for it.
They may have a bad answer. No, they're just being slow.
Now we're going to draw 3 cantrips. And yeah, the top of our deck is 3 cantrips. I'm sure of it.
My employer sends his regard.
Also, since I am showing you how I grind gold, if things get even close, like, we're going to take a look at our draw, but if it doesn't look good, we're out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to win 4 times as fast as I can, not prove that I am the most stupendous Magic comeback player of all time.
I know what must be done.
Not quite, but we'll go... At least try this, see what this leads to.
Well, you get
Yeah, I'll do the thing. We'll do the copy. We'll do the copy.
Do I have your attention now?
Come on, more action. Ooh,
Action.
that counts. That counts. We'll go after Tezzeret.
The stakes are clear now. I'm not finished with
All right, we'll see what they've got. If they can sweep us away here or whatever, that's no good, but if all this stuff lasts, we might have a decent turn next turn. Yeah, there's actually a weird calculus when you're I'm willing to scoop early to save time. It's like, is it faster to quit on this and start over with a fresh draw that might just be insta-kill? And then that happens and you say, yeah, we're done.
Well, I suppose you probably should have looked at one more card.
Yeah, maybe we had a finale or something. Could have
A
untapped.
finale would have possibly won the game there.
We are effectively playing Red Deck Wins. It's just kind of a slightly different take on it from Jay, and I'm down with a similar timeline of play, but with some fresh takes, you know? Got our cheap instance. We just need a cheap sorcery to make it work with Arcanist or with Finale of Promise, rather. Arcanist works with whatever.
So, Benjamin, I'd answer the question slightly differently than Ryan did, with the same underlying concept. It depends on what the metagame for the day feels like. And metagames are often shaped by whatever the current winning decks are. And this deck has a different win profile than Red Deck Win. Both of them play fast. But if the metagame is right, sometimes Red Deck Wins will be the correct choice. Sometimes this deck will be the right choice.
That's too bad. So, one of the things I like to do against Vanguard when you're in red is be able to get into a spot where you point removal at it, they pay 4 life, and then you point another removal spell at it in response. And you can't go around paying 8 life to save a Vanguard against mono red, so that tends to be pretty successful. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and start taking 4 life chunks while preventing damage to us too, so we're going to shock this Vanguard. I mean, they get to save it and it still does the damage, but anyway, like, well, in that case, we'll wait. They might play something better. But they may let it go. Let's do it now, and maybe they'll just even let it go. It's pretty dangerous to save your Vanguard in this spot. Yeah, Oppo knows what's up. It would have been correct for them to do so in this spot because of what our cards were, but
they didn't know that.
But they didn't know that.
So one of the nice things is you can tell they're playing a strict net deck, so we know exactly what's in their deck.
Do we finale here just to get rid of the Enforcer, or do we not care yet, really?
Well, we don't care. I think I would put out a Frenzy and just overrun them.
All right, we'll try it.
He seems to be stuck on 2 mana, and that's not his way to win.
Yeah, Jaya plus Keld combined for a heck of a lot of damage on Chapter 3. Well, that's alright for us. We got another one of those. And they spent a whole turn to stop that one. Question is, we're drawing this. Maybe we just want to start here? Heck, we even...
Yeah, I think you so want it out. It's such a strong combo. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they're not going to drop out and ascend right here, so or unlikely.
We could promise for 0 if we expect to frenzy and just put a counter on the kin.
That's an interesting play. You might want to. Up to you.
If we think we're going to frenzy at least. And we have another finale as well.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Two mana, +1/+1 counter on target Steamkin. I'm with you, J50.
I agree, J50.
Planeswalker control everywhere.
Ugh. I'm about to start playing mono black aggro with elders, 4
Elder
elder
spell,
spells
yeah.
in the main. What I think people haven't realized is because the planeswalkers are becoming so predominant that the black tutor control decks that can fetch an elder spell are probably the best in the metagame right now.
Promise only casts 2 spells, but then we can play the Frenzy. So why don't we Promise, shock something, and then play Frenzy?
Seems good.
Take out the Enforcer. Oh yeah, I could have cast the finale for 0. Good point. I think it gets us. It doesn't really do anything because we get the mana we need anyway. But yeah, I should have thought of that as an option there. Although that would have taken, that needed an X of 2, and then we wouldn't be able to do this. So I think this was correct.
Top deck to land.
Nice. A little weird, but yeah, better than drawing it. Well, we can wait on upkeep. We do it on upkeep.
You can. It might be something you want on upkeep.
I mean, if we do it now, there's nothing we can do. Either it's a land we can't play or a spell we can't cast.
It's an extra token, which is why we get it out of there. I think we just get it out of the way.
It's an extra token on here.
Yeah.
But we can do that on their turn as well.
Sure. Might as well. It gives us time to think about it. I mean, we can play it on our own upkeep. It's cute, but I'm not sure cute is worth it.
If that were a shock, we could prevent the flip, but it looks like they're going to get their flip. Yeah, the scry is good too. We're going to do it. But good to make them commit to all their turn decisions before knowing what's up, even if it's a small thing.
Yeah, you get your stop set.
Yeah, we like that. Okay. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But then these are going to get.
Take out the 0/3.
Yeah, I need to the future 3/3s are going to be a problem.
You're going to draw the other Arclight, and we need to get those out before starting up again. Whoa. Wait. Take off the tokens. Play the other one on top.
All right, we will. Let's see. Let's get those off and do that. Oh, wait.
That's Z.
There we go. Forgot my own stop there for a second. Now we can do the play as intended. Wow. Okay. Some people give up.
Well, he may have been doing the same thing you are.
Yeah, just looking to cruise through. Now, oh, actually, hold on though. Let's. Okay, we paired up. I feel like it can't be right to run for any number of Phoenix without some way to pitch them.
Well, you've got the 2 discard things, but I think there's something better there anyway. And
Ugh.
I'm gonna actually, it's an interesting question and something to look at. What is better?
You keep this? It's a little clunky
yes.
here. Yeah, you're keeping?
Absolutely. You've got a Dreadhorde, you've got a Bold. You're going to draw one of your cheap 1-drops.
Thanks for the sub, White. Neil White. Appreciate that. Skeptical Hat suggests Rakdos Burn for the current meta. Card draw isn't actual draw, so it can ignore Narset, and sorcery speed versus little T isn't a huge hassle either. What are they doing? Is this Drake's?
It's blue, black, good stuff, control. It's very strong.
Yeah, we'll keep Fury ahead of Saheeli Shenanigans.
Together, we'll create great things, you and I.
Got us. Classic, not classic, but this is...
this is the one that's Nicol Bolas version.
Right.
Since he showed red.
And I like this design for the best of one world we're in. We're going to see a lot more of this from R&D, I'm sure. This modal spell does just enough things well to main deck in an unknown field. So we start here. That's not bad for us. I'm going to strike their face. Probably means we land a Frenzy next turn, which is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, they could go blue source and then somehow have negate or something, but we should land a Frenzy next turn. And it might even elicit the Scoop. It's that powerful against decks that can't get it off the battlefield. And red, blue, black, notoriously not that good at managing these things. Why can't it... Oh, right, because I have my own Experimental Frenzy. Sorry, we got to do this. I forgot what my own card did. And we got the instant speed burn on top, and when you have instant speed burn on top and Frenzy in play, you want to create that stop so that you can use the burn on your upkeep before you draw it and it becomes uncastable in hand. They need to do something pretty significant here, or they might just scoop on this Frenzy. Like, I mean, it doesn't even matter. Thought Erasure doesn't matter to us anymore.
What do you think about Thought Erasure as the card?
I think it's well positioned. I think 1 mana, look at your hand, take basically anything is too good. But it's a powerful control card. I also have I played it the hell out of it in Limited. And so I have fond memories of it from that.
I like it a lot in Limited. I'm not sure I like the design for the overall metagame play, just because it's so unanswerable.
Right.
And it's carded. It's a card quality advantage discard, which...
Kasim Boo asks when the next brewing stream is. A week from today, we're aiming for Friday afternoons Pacific time. My snap was to go to the mountain because I was thinking in terms of my hand being real, but with the hand being fake, we actually want to set up for finales the best we can. Looks like we have plenty of fodder for that, so it doesn't really matter, but that's the thinking. I guess we put in shocks.
I would
as
keep the shock because sometimes you break your experimental.
that's true. We could have just break.
defense
We might have wanted to break and just win off of the shock. That's a good point. But hopefully we just get there here.
It's see how nice that card can be.
Yeah, it's funny. And the scry is great here.
I see Scoop coming. I know Scoop's coming now. Oh, good. Trample it.
Oh yeah, we don't want to do that yet. We just want to win.
Just winning is good.
Just win.
So I wanted to bring up a couple of comments on pulling out the arc lights.
Yeah.
Just for a couple of quick suggestions. So the one that I think you might want, because it lets you experiment with answering your question, put in a light up.
Yeah.
Just
Instead
replace them with light ups directly, one for one. Take 3 out.
Oops, I
No,
did the
keep
wrong one. Sorry.
experiments
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I aimed incorrectly. Experimental frenzy. Get back in there, and then light.
Now, as an interesting card you might want to consider sometime, Sarkin Fireblood might work well in the deck. It's a crazy bad rare that you might want to try, one of them might be viable. It would be exactly one, but one may be good.
Well, you can try it. We're here to brew today.
His threat potential is pretty high. He's going to be annoying if nothing else.
I did go down to 3 finale because that's what I am at in terms of this account's collection, and then we're not going to use wild cards willy nilly here. Well, all right, fine. We'll do the J special and leave it at 61. I cut
Tormenting
it down.
Voice
I
is
cut it
also
down to
good.
60. Yeah. Let's just run with this. Let's see how this goes. Looks fine.
Looks a lot more than fine. I guess you need one more land to be perfect.
Right. It's funny how I am learning the sounds. Like, I knew they had a steam vent out and I hadn't looked up yet. It's kind of funny. Some people play with the audio off. I do like the audio in this game. I think the audio designer's doing a great job overall. They had to fix some things like weird, crazy, overloud looping stuff, but in general, I think the sound is great on Arena. We'll start with the Fury. Well, now I kind of want to bolt in the yard in case we want to promise.
You need the land though. So
I know, but if there's a land off the top and we want to finale, then we're going to want to have bolted.
You're right.
I'm going to pass because it's with steam vents. They may be playing the Electromancer that we want to shock.
Or Dovin, who you want to shock.
We can't though, because now it costs one more. I could have gone to the face if we wanted while it was on the stack. Boy, now everything. Wow. Yeah, Dovin is a mess for us. Mm-hmm. Do we go for finding a land or just working on Dovin?
You gotta find a land.
And there it is. Still can't do anything.
If you didn't find the land, I was going to recommend scooping.
Yeah, we're close. We'll see what they do here. Let's start over.
That's not.
It's not. Well, I don't know. Do we have a killer turn? Do we have a killer turn though? I'm still just feeling like under this we're just very unlikely to get anywhere.
See if you can draw land on the Fury. If you don't, then yeah, scoop.
Well, we didn't. So now shocking.
Yeah, kill a planeswalker.
Or Stark.
Fully for you.
I've seen enough.
Open mind.
Moving on. We're a rambling man on this account, grinding with this deck. Anybody playing F&M tonight? Any tabletoppers? I keep threatening to, but then I never make it there in time. Rush. Blood Crypt.
Hold that. Oops.
You wouldn't use that?
There's a when he plays that, there's a good threat of the black-red. I guess you can just kill it anyway.
Well, we're going to make him kill the Steamkin, right?
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, he didn't show the black... He's now not showing black-red with the haste guys, and that was my concern.
Mm. Wow, they let us have a Steamkin. We're going to start on Fury in case we find another mountain.
You have another Steamkin, so play the land and the other Steamkin first.
Well, here's my thought. I guess it doesn't matter. Like, that if we found another mountain off of Fury, we could even go shock, shock, fill up Steamkin, attack, pull it off, and make another one, and, you know, that was my thinking. But if we want to go... They didn't kill the first one. What if we attack first and... No, we shouldn't. Okay, fine. I'll do it that way. And we'll keep shocks, I
would
think.
get rid of it.
Yeah?
He's creatureless.
He's creatureless. I was just trying to make all our Steamkins go, but I guess that's not very powerful as far as our red options are. There's Fury here. Plus, I have meme value in Light Up the Stage in the deck. And
wait.
Let's go. Yeah, we do this and this. I always find it... 60% of the time I find it just in time. Yeah, it seems fine to keep on top in this context.
Reasonable.
Fury or just more sprinting?
I get more cards.
More cards. I almost did it. That time I just misclicked, failing to... Yeah, that's rough. I think I'm going to misclick there eventually. Big button under... Only one button, and right there underneath the thing I want to cast always just feels like that's the point of it.
I believe you want to swing here.
Yeah, and just sprint again or crash through again? What do you think?
Light. Well, see if he hits. I was assuming he was going to bedevil it like he did last time.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they got something here.
Yeah, I don't expect it to actually get through.
So that resolves. Now I want to... Now I'm going to shock, face, and...
Light up the stage.
Light up that stage. Oh, sorry, we were in Declare Attackers. I kind of like land.
I think
We
you
got a
want
lot
that
to
land
do,
here, too.
right?
Yeah, keep it.
The meme fell into the void. What happened? Oh. What's going on? I don't know why that's not working. I'll have to fix later, I guess. And yeah, this...
Oh, and we can use it on his end step if you want.
Yeah, just being lazy. I guess so, though. They are playing... Do they play
It's
counters in
5
that deck?
points, it's 5 points, and he does have the god in some of these builds.
Okay.
The 4-drop one. Storm god or something.
Right. Let's see. What if we...
Or Nicol Bolas.
Sorry, I'm trying to fix this.
To the extreme,
Hey,
I rock
there
a
it
mic
is.
like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light
Oh,
up
now
a
it's
stage
never
and wax
ending.
a chump like a candle. Dance.
You have to decide how. I mean,
There we
how
go.
you want to handle that. You might need to discard Finale of Promise and just double bolt Nickel
Yeah, and then we have Experimental Frenzy, and that kind of
Yep.
takes over.
and go from there.
I like it. We can Fury first here. What does it do really? We're going to go
Doesn't
to
do
4
anything.
and then lock it out. Lock out whatever we draw anyway. Although if it's a land, then we can play the land. I think that makes it worth it. Also, we like stuff in our yard. The only drawback is if we have a 1 on top, we can't cast it. I think that's worth it. I'm going to do it. And same kind of question. We could not play this to try and to sweep lands, but again, I'm going to do this, this, and this. Not an instant, so there's no need to set a stop. We just don't get to cast that, at least not yet.
The immortal Nicol Bolas will be your end. Will wipe your bloodline. You have no weakness I cannot exploit.
They get to destroy Saheeli, but we don't have anything else to do, so unless we're going to, like, kill our frenzy.
No, you definitely put out. Yeah.
Today I craft my
Saheeli gives you lots of cannon fodder for.
And they're at 10. We could just untap and unload fire into their face for the win. Flame of Keld plus Experimental Frenzy isn't exactly a fantastic combo, but
Your existence is pointless.
woof. Come on, let's do this. All right, all right. Let's see, do we need to hit Nickel?
Of course you need to hit with Nickel.
I don't know. Sometimes you have the chance, like you can do the math and be like, well, our best shot is actually just go face and hope, you know?
No, you're not needing hope. You're not desperate.
No.
I have other schemes to attend to.
Experimental Frenzy, ladies and gentlemen. Experimental Frenzy. Dump, 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 dump.
I still think it may be better than Wheel of Fortune.
That's a little painful, but we do have... Do we have that Samut Sprint? That's interesting. Oh, now that's dead. Never mind. Well, how about another?
Interesting question.
You're not gonna do... I mean...
You probably do.
I think we do. As opposed to cracking that for those. Just keep going on this. Nope. Can't cast, so we'll drop her looking for something we can.
You know, we may burn out our whole deck.
It's possible. One of the, having Experimental Frenzy in which a lot of your spells are cyclers reduces the amount of just sheer face damage that you're going to get off of it, so there's that.
We may need something to replace the Arclights with that hit.
Okay, now I think we get rid of this Frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
We have another one in hand anyway. We can light up the stage.
Before you do that, shouldn't you attack?
Yeah, I should attack. If I had something that was relevant to be able to cast from the hand, then maybe you wouldn't, but in this case, no. Nothing to do but attack. Or try.
Extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal, light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
Well, that's awk. We're gonna take 4. I guess we wait. No need to use that shock now. Ah, that's good. They get our backup Frenzy, which was one of the reasons for cracking the first one. Now we're at, like, find something great off the top or we're done with this one too. Just about have this one lost. Why is this repeated a million times? Anybody know?
Oh, that's the way, because they didn't program it correctly. They did a hack, is what it looks like. Instead of giving you a new effect that lasts, it actually applies the effect individually
to everything that it sees.
No, it's just they put a whole each stack of them more than the number of spells they expect you to cast. Draw and discard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
I was gonna say Fanatic Guru. That is, if Fanatic Guru is playing a lot of Arena Ladder and has never seen a mono red deck, that's some weird alternate universe unlikelihood stuff going on there. All right, now we are done. Kill the army with what? I don't think we ever had. Were we talking? Oh right, yeah, I forgot that Flame was making it big. You're right. I just didn't remember my own stuff, even though we were talking about it. All right, how about I'm gonna go.
Well, yeah, a few suggestions for changing the lights up the stage. One easy choice is putting in the Phoenix, just to give you durable damage.
This one?
Yeah,
Or this
rekindling. Another option you could go with that might be rather interesting is just playing one of the forks.
What is that called though? Explosion? You mean this one?
There's a new one in double red and that might be better. Double
Copy
cast.
Works.
Double cast. It's not the instant though, so I probably would keep the one you have. Go with explosion. Explosion acts as a counter for a counter spell as well.
Right. You want to take out a frenzy and what?
I'd take out the lights. Light
Oh,
up
the
the
lights.
stages. Yeah, just take the lights out and put those in and see how they work. If nothing else, you can always just copy lightning strikes with them. And they actually have some synchronicity with Promise.
Now it's a blue-red deck too.
And now it's a blue-red deck.
Risk factor is what Logan is suggesting.
And Logan, I like risk factor a lot here. It's a bit of a bluff, which is why I wouldn't do it. Because their answer is just to give you cards. But I think risk factor is also perfectly legitimate because they're not going to know that.
Now this is what I've come to know and love. It's the mono red mirror. Well, probably not a mirror, but mono redness anyway.
Yeah, you should do fairly well in this fight. Yeah,
because you could just Arcanist and then worry about make them spend a turn on this, or they're in big trouble.
That's
that.
legit too. Yeah,
it's kind of like a Wild Growth Walker or Steamkin. They just need to use their resources on it, and if they don't, this is like, how good is this for us? Like, oh my god,
this is crazy good.
Start here.
Shock them all.
And we could sprint. We could. Do you want to sprint? We're not going to save the sprint.
I just said attack and shock from the graveyard.
I know, but if we sprint, we're attacking for bigger. Is the thing. And we'll just throw another one down. They couldn't deal with the first one. This might just elicit a scoop right here after that blowout. Now they want to keep going. And we're going to strike this right now since there's nothing in the yard that really gets it. We can sprint one of them and even get back.
Sprint two of them or draw a card.
Yeah, let's...
Actually, you haven't played a land this turn.
Yeah, let's draw that.
And certainly the Rekindling Phoenix will close it down.
There's a lot of interchangeable parts, not even necessarily interchangeable, a lot of different options to fill out your red deck. You know, it's funny. It's like in some ways, it's like the eye roll deck because we've all seen it a million times or whatever, but there are a lot of angles on it. You're talking about risk factor versus the Chandra versus Frenzy. Are you going low to the ground, 18 land, more normal 20-ish land? Anyway, a lot of ways to build it. And here we have just the sprint. We could go Artificer, Fury, and then attack with both and have Fury and sprint. That seems really strong. Let's just do that. I know it's not the Phoenix, but it just feels super
awfully
powerful.
Strong, and you can draw the land.
Dare to marvel at my muscles.
Cards are good. So are little weenies.
No reason to turn this into an Arcanist or anything, though. Is it? Because it's
No.
just the end of turn. I did this first, and then so this one now. I'm going to screw that up at some point, too. No more land needed. Coming around on the sprint, it's like it's been surprisingly good throughout, and especially on the Arcanist, right? It lets you rebuy the strikes.
This is why I put 2 of them in there. I felt that they just really fit well with the deck.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance! To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
Meme's getting a workout now. What do we got to face?
Is destruction your only art?
Looks like they get them both. They get a nice wipe out of... this is the power of the Steamkin.
Mm-hmm.
Now they can attack, take out Saheeli, and finish off the Arcanist, and then we got to count on... We're going to see if Phoenix can get us there. They still got a long way to go, so the Phoenix might be good enough for 2 swings. And... never casting Explosion, but... actually, I think this is going to be pretty close. Not quite. So now we Phoenix and have to use it defensively and hope they don't have a follow-up burn to take out the token. Well, maybe we don't have to use it defensively, but we can't just, like, win on the next. We can choke him with cards here, and then we can...
No,
yeah,
you
actually we
can't.
can win.
We can't. He's got all the mana he needs. He has infinite mana, so you have to take the damage.
Take the 4. Okay, yeah, we'll take 4. But we have the win now if they don't take out the Phoenix, because we can copy the sprint to get 8 damage. So, actually, with seeing what we see here, we're just going to take it all.
Yeah,
Dionysus, we already kind of voted on Brew's suggestions. That's true.
So we did need to block, probably, but...
Too late now. We'll see if it cost us. Yeah, it might just get us here off the Steamkin mana, but it doesn't always work out that way. But also, I feel like if we block, they also are going to take out the Rekindle token. So if we block it, then I think we just don't even have the tool at all.
Well, hopefully he... oh, he still got the kill.
Dionysus, we already have a plan for next week, but you can offer up suggestions anyway. I don't think blocking there would have changed that result.
It actually would have, because
Really?
he couldn't have used the 2 engines.
I thought
it would have taken out his steam can, which was where the mana was.
Yeah, but he had the other. Well, I don't know. Maybe I screwed that up.
It might have.
I thought they had the removal to take out the token afterwards. So, like, that only works if the Phoenix comes back, and I felt like it wasn't going to there, but
it was certainly risky. It was in some ways risky. Before you, well, go ahead.
Oh, we can still. I'm just trying to get done and get off here. I got stuff to do.
I didn't know if you wanted to try a risk factor in there, since people were talking about it, and it was of.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run it back. I think risk factor is an option for sure, but again, like red just has all of these different options. This one's kind of honed in on the Arcanist combo.
The funny thing is, the more that I'm watching this, the more that I do like having the arc lights, even without having the discard in them.
Some reach, in a sense, coming out in the air for an extra 3. Mono blue is usually what a single island means, and especially with an opt.
And you've got the hand for them.
Yeah. We'll see, though. Often they have just enough of the interference. Oh, nope. Even better. Might get a scoop on this alone. Probably should have voided so I could have set up our draw, but I think we know what we want to do next turn anyway.
Challenge you want, then a challenge you'll get.
Oh, let's do this. Well, actually, we might want 3 sources of red this turn, actually. I guess with these, probably not. What do you think? Void before or void after Fury?
Wow. If we void before, is there something we need? We're going to get 2 out of the graveyard. We need to kill Saheeli, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right, so I'm going to take whatever. Yeah, you can Dionysus, but we're settled for next week, is what I was saying. You can suggest, but it's not going to change the plan for next week. And now, since we're going to strike anyway, let's take a look at our top. Another Dread Horde.
I'd keep it.
Yeah?
He's going to have to kill your Dread Horde.
Okay.
I don't think you hit him.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, well.
Oh, right, because it was a wasted point. Good call. Sorry. My math is bad.
Stop.
And of course, when you're talking about mono red, a point can make all the difference in the world because you're trying to get people dead before they stabilize. But
the key to playing red is knowing how to count backwards from 20.
Yeah.
See, that's why we needed the one on top.
Jay is reading chat. Your suggestion is noted, Dionysus.
Absolutely. It's been something on the... I mean, there's been a bunch of Citadel decks out there. I think we can do better than what's out there, and the ones that are out there are already frighteningly good.
Should we just Frenzy here?
Yes.
And then
I think
this will take over, or it won't?
Always, yes.
It's just like, what are you going to do about it?
Are you familiar with those types of questions and the answer is always yes to? Like, would you like a sample of chocolate cake or something?
Right.
Would you like to... Should we just cast Experimental Frenzy here as in the same category?
Which meta, Dionysus? Because I think that's a fundamental question of Arena. There's metas for the constructed queues, there's or the constructed events, and there's metas for ladder play, you know? Let's do this.
So Super Friends seem to dominate play that doesn't have sideboards. With sideboards, I think it's the blue-black Nicol Bolas style deck.
Nice.
But those are two things that are standing out. Red is consistent, about a third to 40% of the metagame. It has incredibly high variance. White Weenie is also there and doing strong. Merfolk are out. Black Green Citadel, or now a lot of people are playing the one that gets 5 creatures and planeswalkers, is sort of rogue but growing. That's sort of the way I see the metagame right now. Hopefully that broke it down well enough.
Wah wah. Gonna just probably crack that before we untap. We got a pretty full grip here.
Yeah, and you get another experimental, so crack it.
Did we play a land though? I think we've already played a land, so there's no need to do it this turn. Yeah, we lost to a Command the Dreadhorde deck as well before you got here, Dionysus.
Yeah, the Command the Dreadhorde deck and the Bolas Citadel deck are really close.
What an interesting creature. Let's see how you work.
Looks like everybody's interested in what Saheeli's got to offer these days. We're gonna go Dreadhorde. Well, not sure about my sequencing here, but I am playing this like I do play my grinds, which is pretty quickly trying to find your way out and whatever if you don't. Here I like Finale. Do we have
Do you have the instant
sprint?
in there?
Yeah, we have the
perfect.
sprint.
The instant, I think, is sprint, which is saying something.
And just one. We don't have a 2-mana sorcery we need anyway, so 1 is fine. And these don't really matter. Yeah, sure. Saheeli or Face?
Saheeli.
Need to take care of her, huh?
Especially since you drew the shock. Take the crash, so you have one of...
oh, sure. These rarely matter.
Rarely, but once in a blue moon.
In terms of
Part
which
of the reason
one it is.
the decision was clear to hit Saheeli was you top deck the shock, so next turn you can sort of casual a shock.
Yeah, this still looks good for us. Let's get Saheeli going though before we start shocking things. Or try. So,
It's a challenge you want, and a challenge you'll get.
we came up with 1 win with it. We went 1-3 with the Parhelion deck.
So, I know this is going to sound a little bit weird, but possibly the Wall of Wood Explore deck. It's about...
Feel the heat of my
it's never going to be the dominant player in the metagame. It's just, you know, it has to use some awkward tricks, and otherwise it acts as a control deck. But it's big mana control. It shows that Jin is really strong in Gilded Lotus, and that's worthwhile to see.
Gin of Wishes, you're saying, by the way. Yeah. All right. Well, that's how long it took to grind our way to 4 wins while chatting a little bit. Doing some deck configuration stuff or whatever, but, that's the grind, man.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the deck for a grinder. I like really do.
I like playing around in the red space for some different textures, but similar speed to understanding how fast you are, to getting on with your life. So I like that. Talking about this one, Dionysus, as a kind of an alternative mono red deck for grinding. Sneezing. Excuse me. I will say, if you do end up in a mono red configuration that strips the chain whirlers out, I do love the Void, or some, consider what kind of tap for colorless type of mana you could add to the deck to improve it. I don't think I'd do it if you're going to turn off your chain whirlers, but I like it when you're not running chain whirlers. So, you were asking what constructed standard deck are you most excited about now? And I think he got the audio chopped up. What were you saying? Was it this one or?
So, I mean, I really do like this one right now, the Promise Red, because it does beat some of the things that it traditionally loses to.
Right.
And the other one thing that I was mentioning when the audio messed up, we were talking, one of my own voluntary homework for next week is to work with the 0-3 Explore card.
Because we were talking about it in the context of this deck here. Because Jay has run a couple of decks in our brewing sessions that run 4 Wild Growth Walker, but only 4 Jadelight Ranger to support it, and I was pressing him on whether that's correct. Like, that if you're going to run the Walkers, you ought to have more than 4 things that get that life gain out of them and make them more than a 1/3 for 2. And we were looking at the options, and of course I initially suggested the Branch Walker, because that's what everybody runs, right? But Jay's point was it's not what the deck really wants in terms of a 2-drop.
It's not what the metagame wants.
It's not what the metagame... Yeah, it's not what the deck wants to handle the metagame in the 2-drop slot. And then we went to, there's the Squire that makes a 2/3 instead of a 3/2. And we're like, okay. And then Jay was like, well, what about the 0-3 that makes a 1/4? And like, that might actually be... what the deck really wants.
A 1/4 would be awful for the red decks, which is the main problem for the deck where, the Adapt and Evolve deck.
Right.
So maybe that works. It may also be part of the solution for the better version of that, of the Citadel deck. Because the Citadel deck uses that engine a lot, and its big weakness is it gets underrun, and this would help with that too.
Well,
so that may be what happens.
This is the deck we're talking about there, and this is my free-to-play account where I unfortunately can't really play good Golgari because I refuse to craft these Jadelight Rangers. I said on free-to-play, I'm never crafting backwards. I'm only going to craft forwards. And by forwards, I mean stuff that's not rotating this September. And since this rotates in September, I am not going to craft it today. And the 0-3 Explorer is Ixali's Diviner. So that's what we were talking about.
He's a common that I have that I'm going to have to craft up because, I don't... It's surprising that no one plays him. It's probably just the 2 for a Wall of Wood. Oh my god, that must be awful.
Right. When actually a 1/4 is doing some serious work against a lot of the decks in the format right now.
And the other thing is Wall of Wood is actually somewhat legit these days in a couple of different deck builds. The one who puts land into play, and this does something a lot more than that. Anyway, I should run. It's 3 o'clock. I've got to get back and get some work done.
Me too. I should run. I got some cards to sell. I know somebody else who sells cards too. That's Card Kingdom. They're my sponsor. I'm really thankful for that. They've got pre-orders on Modern Horizons. If you pre-order Modern Horizons product, sealed product, you get a sweet sticker sheet. You probably have to go to Card Kingdom and take a look at that. I can share that on Monday when I have a little more time to set up. But I want to thank you all for hanging out. I want to thank Jay for coming on and brewing with us. That was fun again. And we're going to go see if there's anybody we want to raid this afternoon. Let's go look at my list. Who's playing some Magic? Oh, Queen is got her stream going, so sure, we're going to support our Queen. Queen Dragon 2002 is a longtime viewer of my stream. Oops, sorry. A longtime viewer of my stream who started streaming herself, and I love supporting that from her. And she's looking to get better at this game and would love you all to hang out with her and help her out. Call out mistakes diplomatically, etc. But thank you all for hanging out with me. And all hail the Queen. Thanks, Jay. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.